Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
Ponyo wants podcast.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Ham!
Okay, spoilers. Spoilers. Let's just right off the bat.
There's a lot
delicious.
of that in Ponyo. A lot of kids going, you know what I mean? Can they like realize something amazing is about to happen? Like they're going to eat a sandwich?
I thought maybe you would try the song.
Oh, no.
Ponyo.
No, that was
Can I get into spoilers right away, David's play? This is the most
He's
excited
jamming out.
I've seen you about anything in
It's
so
my
long.
favorite movie of all time.
Can I get into spoilers right away?
Yeah.
Ponyo loves ham.
Oh my god.
Let's get into some spoilers.
Let's get into some spoilers.
No.
Ponyo loves ham.
Sosuke loves Ponyo.
Ponyo loves Sosuke.
Hell yeah.
I love Sosuke's mom.
Sosuke's mom, number one crush.
Lisa-
Sorry,
Yeah,
Forky.
Yeah, you know what? Let's start with
Lisa?
this.
Yeah, Lisa. I tweeted this and people, because I tweeted that I had a crush on the mom from Ponyo.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like
no.
half the people were like, oh, you see, you have a crush on like a, 100
goddess
foot
of
tall
mercy?
sea goddess. And I was like, no, fucking the mom with the like t-shirt.
No, that's me.
Yeah, right. You're like, eat me, woman. Eat me, God, woman. She's just like, oh. Jen's like, yeah.
Giant wet lady.
Yeah,
Literally, like
exactly.
made of
The
water.
biggest wet lady in the world.
Rules.
I'm just like, who's this bossy girl who can make ramen and drives like a maniac?
She's a bossy round
Fuck
face.
yeah.
She's a classic
Yeah.
Simsy and bossy round face.
Yeah. What does she sing? She does that little bit where she's like, "It's a happy day," or I can't remember. What does
I don't
someone
remember.
tell me?
I don't know.
Thought you guys knew
God
everything.
damn it. I watched it this morning.
I'm very excited about this episode because A, Ponyo clearly itself has you in a rare mood.
Mhm.
But B, we have a guest on the show today who I would
Yeah.
say
Uh-oh.
is someone who undoes the clasp on the collar.
on the leash.
She unleashes the dog. There's certain guests who just the wall comes down
Hmm.
and the dog is unleashed. And
That's right.
I think our guest today is one of them. You get David. David's in a rare mood whenever you come in.
You appeal to my silliest side.
Yes.
Shirley. We appeal to each
Aw.
other's silly sides, baby.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Shirley Li
Shirley Lee.
What's
from
up?
the
of
Atlantic.
the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
What?
Spoilers.
Oh, God. Like Sam. What's going on?
She does like ham.
You're like,
Oh. Yes, hello. Hi, I'm here.
hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Uh,
Switched gigs.
Switch gigs. Last time we had you.
gig switch.
Did a little gig switching.
Last time we had you on the podcast, you were just about to leave New York City for good
I was just about to switch cities.
to go work for Ew.
It's a great joke. I've never heard it before.
Thank you. And now, still living in LA, but now working for the LA satellite of the Atlantic. So you are technically co-workers with David.
That's right.
And you were just back here for a couple days.
We on
Yeah.
Slack together.
Tragic. Yeah, we're back on Slack together. Slack is back.
Back
Slack
on
is
Slack.
Were you not on a Slack in the time that you weren't working?
There were a couple failed Slacks. But
Yeah.
none ever took.
We had
took
tried
hold.
a friend Slack.
Yeah, a sort of like.
But it was
former
hard.
employees friend Slack.
Yeah, it's hard to keep that afloat, you know?
Do you know what was the greatest Slack failure of all time?
Please tell.
The movie podcaster Slack.
that was a failure.
That I think Joe Robinson, the great Joe Robinson, put together. And the plan was we said a year ago we were going to do...
Like a big Endgame podcast.
we were going to do an Endgame podcast with 32 different movie podcast
The
hosts.
joke being a lot of people in that Endgame.
Right. And so we were all joking about it. And then Joe was like, we should actually do this.
Right,
And in April of 2018,
That was the problem.
she was like, if we're going to do this,
Too
we have to
long a
plan
runway.
it out a year in advance. And then all of us were like, we'll get back to this in 9 months.
Right.
And then it never happened.
That runway was longer than the one in Fast and Furious 6.
No! Endless runway.
It's a long runway.
Yeah. But that Slack had like 37 people in it.
It did.
And a grand total of 4 messages
I was
ever.
going to say, it was like a bunch of people joining being like, hi. And then that was the sum total of their
Yeah.
contribution.
So was everyone just DMing each other, or was there
no, I think it just
no
never-
activity at all?
You know,
Oh.
a Slack.
That was
you
the
know, a
end of
friend
the dialogue.
Slack
Yeah.
needs to take hold somehow. I don't know how, but there is like anytime I've done one that works, it's some weird.
That's the only
People
Slack
just wanna
I've
be
ever
able
been
to
part of. Yeah, I got a terrible success rate on Slack.
Should we start a blank check Slack?
I don't know.
I feel like I want less places where I can message you,
Yeah,
so
I was
that I have
gonna
a
say.
greater chance of hitting.
Yeah,
you
I
know
don't
what
like
I mean?
responding to
Exactly.
things.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's always seemed very antithetical to Griffin.
Definitely. That's the core of my being.
Right.
No, it was like we were all like tweeting at each other about like this would be fun, and then there was some DM sliding, and then Joe was like, "We need to start one Slack to organize," and the Slack
I
started,
see.
and 4 people said hi, and then the conversation ended, and it was never talked about ever again.
No one sent a single GIF.
No, I don't.
GIF.
No,
You're one of
I'm going with
those?
GIF.
Oh, jeez.
I used to be a GIF girl.
It's GIF.
Yeah, then she went Hollywood
because
on
you
us.
could then say, "Oh my god," you could say,
Yeah,
the
right.
GIF that keeps on
Hollywood
giving.
Hollywood GIF over here. Yeah,
But
GIF
no-
that
but
keeps
no-
on giving is
But
fun.
I like saying it now. GIF.
You say the
GIF
GIF
is like
that keeps
GIF is
on
like hard.
GIFing?
I feel like I'm yelling at
GIF.
someone. GIF.
GIF me.
Yeah,
GIF.
like give me this. I don't want to give
GIF
you
is
anything.
peanut
PG.
butter. Bad peanut butter.
Ooh.
Not that good.
What's your favorite
Oh,
peanut
hot
butter?
take.
of the sort of like supermarket? Like,
Yeah.
I'm skipping.
Oh yeah.
I'm a skipper.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And then I have this
Smooth,
nostalgia
crunchy. Smooth,
Mom's like GIF though.
crunchy.
I am crunchy, but sometimes I'll swerve into smooth. You know, fancy
swerving into smooth.
Yeah, just a diff.
You could be a
difference.
smooth operator, a crunchy boy.
I have a nostalgia for Peter Pan, which was the one we had in the house when I was a
Right.
kid. But I think Peter Pan may have gone off the rails a little bit. Like it seems like a bit of a junky option. now.
Here's the thing. I always
Peter Pan peanut butter?
Yeah, Peter Pan.
That's,
peanut
that's a
butter.
lot to say.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I always liked it, but I think now I view it as, oh, is that the budget peanut butter?
I think.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's even below Jif on the sort of like
think so.
supermarket scale for some reason.
Right. I
And
think, is Peter Pan the Hunt's ketchup of the peanut butter world? Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also am such a peanut butter fiend that I always have like a supermarket, peanut butter and like a fancy, stir peanut
Yes.
butter that's all, like in case, because I might want one or the other.
I didn't know you were eating peanut butter this much.
Yeah.
What do you eat
That's
it
like
with?
my default.
I love
Into
it.
other butters, cashew
Yeah.
butter, almond butter.
I've flirted, but I've never.
Never taken them out.
I've been getting into smoothies and juices.
Right. Well, peanut
Really?
butter can be a good base
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Trying
How'd that
to-
happen?
I'm so unhealthy, Shirley. I
Yeah.
gotta start eating breakfast. So I
Want a
drink
waffle
my
fry? You want a
breakfast.
cold waffle fry?
Yeah, great breakfast. It's a 3 p.m. cold waffle fry for a Benny.
And Ben accepted it.
Very quickly.
He did. He accepted it. Right. Almost. I barely had time to move my hand towards him.
So I've been so unhealthy. Oh, cold waffle
Quick
fry.
question.
It was like Ponyo jumping out of the bowl for that waffle fry. Hey,
When Ponyo grabs that ham, hello.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Griffin, you keep saying Ponyo.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Ponyo?
okay. See, I'm getting some flack for saying GIF.
Well, yeah,
I
but
want to
that's-
toss it back on Ponyo.
You're making a choice. I'm just wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? I allow myself to be corrected. It's Ponyo? Ponyo. I keep
Yeah,
on saying
yeah,
it.
right.
Ponyo.
Like think of that song "Pond the River on the." Where? No, wait. How does it go?
What?
No, don't worry. I don't remember.
There's been a thing recently in the Reddit where people have
Try
been
to
saying,
help.
I was disappointed by the lack of Ben in this episode. I think maybe he was just really hungover. And every time someone has guessed that, I've gone, yeah, no, that was correct. That's never. No one's ever jumped to that
Right.
conclusion incorrectly.
Exactly.
Ben's very awake today.
Yeah, Ben didn't pipe in very much. I wonder if he was barely awake.
Right.
Pipe and Ben.
Well,
Sometimes Ben takes it off.
and also it's
He's
the
like
energy.
LeBron.
It's the
Yeah.
energy.
It's the energy.
Yeah, yeah.
know?
Sometimes I
Because
think.
sometimes if it's an academic kind of
I was about to
conversation.
say.
Yes.
I can't. Me.
You're the poet laureate.
I'm poet. Yeah.
Art detective.
Art detective.
Tiebreaker.
Some-
Birthday Benny.
Stuff.
Ben Deucer. Pure Ben. Shirley came up with one right before we started recording.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to say it?
Should I say it? I feel like I should explain it first.
That's fine.
Okay.
So Ben came over and started fiddling with my mic and tinkered with it. So as he walked away, I said, "Tinker, Ben." Tinky, 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 tinky.
You plussed it. Introduce the podcast.
Look
It's a
at Ben's
podcast called
spreading.
Blank Check. It's about filmographies. Directors have massive success early on in their career, given a series of blank checks, make whatever crazy passion projects they want, and sometimes those checks clear, and sometimes they bounce. Baby.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
He's graduated to certain titles over the course of different miniseries, such as Kylo, Ben Producer, Ben Kenobi, Ben Night Shyamalan, Ben Say,
Wow.
Ailey Benz with the dollar sign, Ben 19, the Fennel Maker, say Bennything ... I know I'm getting these out of order.
Okay.
Mr. Ben Credible, Eat Drink Ben Hosley, Beetle Vape Juice.
Sure.
Um,
What the fuck is the, Michael Mann one?
oh fuck.
Oh.
At this point, we're recording. This is almost the end of this mini-series, but
we just wrapped Man, basically.
We're jumping ahead in the filmography because Shirley's in town.
Hey, I screwed things up for
What's
you
the
guys.
Michael Mann name? Oh, I feel like someone was proposing some Dollar Hyde Ben. Dollar Haas.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
It'll come up.
Michael Ben.
Oh,
Wow, I nailed it.
wow.
Worst.
Public Benemies.
That's all right.
Dan Daddario, variety TV.
What about Hosley?
My,
Yeah, that should be your nickname.
what,
Hosley? What are you talking
Like
about?
Ollie.
You're just saying your
Sorry, just
name.
with an I, though.
Yeah.
It's just spelled differently?
Yeah, it would be easier to remember.
I wish you were hungover today. What did Dan Daddario say?
Sometimes he suggests a name. Like,
He's a great suggester. That's why we
Right,
call him
that's
the
what I'm
great suggester.
And so I'm searching back through my DMs to see if he had a man suggestion, but I'm not sure that he did. I'm just wondering, where is it? Oh, we can keep talking.
I mean, Benny Bumpo would be good if he hadn't changed the name to Hawkeye, you know?
Right. Yes, that would be good. No, there would be no problems with that.
Benny Bumpo?
No, exactly. No one would have an objection.
No.
Ponyo.
Ponyo! The fucking Ponyo!
This score slaps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Okay, so full disclosure,
Yeah.
What?
because Shirley is an LA resident, and we're doing this a little out of order. So I
Sorry.
feel like Griffin, as he is being
Discovering
exposed
these mostly
to
for the first time.
Miyazaki.
This is a big jump ahead. We're
Oh.
skipping a bunch of them in the middle I haven't seen before.
The only ones you've seen so far are Cagliostro, which doesn't have a Hisashi score at all,
Right.
and then Castle in the Sky, which is a beautiful score, but it's very electronic. It's kind of spare and strange.
And I've watched Nausicaa now
Oh yeah,
because we thought we were
Okay.
going to record
Sure,
it
sure, sure.
earlier. Yeah.
And so that's all cool, but
Yeah.
this is right. This is now where he's like at the height of his
I was
power.
kind of
Wow.
surprised by how epic this score was.
Yeah.
It
That-
feels like Lawrence of Arabia or something.
Kind of the magic of this movie where you're like, I know this is just like a little fairy tale about a boy and his
Right.
friend, but like
Yes.
it's just kind of like a humongous epic at the
It
same
is.
time.
There's a tsunami.
Yeah, even though it only has like 3 locations, then they're all like a 10-minute drive from each other.
Look, this is the thing. I rewatched all of the Toy Story movies recently. At the time we're recording this, it will have been several months before the episode comes out, but it also probably will apply for the week that this episode comes out. I assume I will have also rewatched all the Toy Story movies again. Toy Story 1 has 4 locations.
Right.
It is
it's
crazy.
Like Bonnie's room.
Toy Story 1.
No,
Oh, Toy Story
One.
1.
Bonnie's not born.
Andy's house?
No.
Do we know?
Andy's house? Sid's house? The gas station? Pizza Planet.
Right.
And the only
And
other
Andy's
place
house
they
and
go
Sid's house are next to each other.
next to each other.
Right, right.
Most of the movie takes place in one block. And the only other thing you see is the street for the final moving chase. And that's sort of them just repeating the same road and houses over and over again. But it is crazy that, like, much like this, they make a film that feels that is geographically taking place in a very confined
And yet
amount
the
of
scope
space.
is so large. Or, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a child's perspective when you think about it,
That's
right? I mean, they're
the thing.
very
I think
small.
both of those movies do really well. is
Those are
it's
small
like-
toys. These are small people.
These are small.
These are tiny fish girls.
Well,
Yes.
as I've said, really, in Toy Story, it does stress me out. They're so little.
They're very small.
Anytime they get like
And
stranded
you're-
somewhere, I'm like, they're so far to
And
walk.
you're so huge.
Me, I'm huge.
A large man.
I am a large.
4 does that too, though. Like 4 mostly takes place in a town square,
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
Right.
it's right, almost a practical necessity.
right? Which
it would
I
just
love.
be crazy if they were traveling any further than like from across the street.
Right, because
Yeah.
even for most of the movie, the RV is parked around the corner from the antique shop,
Mhm.
which is both are surrounding the carnival, and that's like the whole movie.
So much that writing must just be like, right, how do we have a new reason for the RV not to have left yet? Right, we have to
Right.
keep coming up with like
Oh, yeah.
narrative stalls.
But also that thing of how do you not make this? How do you avoid this feeling claustrophobic by making the difference between this corner of the antique shop and this corner of the antique shop very different, and the obstacles between them?
Good movie.
Yeah.
Yes. So great film, American classic. Ponyo.
Oh, let me see the ring.
Forky put a ring on it. We all know at this point that Forky put a ring on it. Forky put a ring on it.
This episode is coming out in like October, guys.
Okay, it's okay. It's a good running gag. Keep
right.
going. How's your life with Forky so far?
Great. We're kicking ass together.
What utensils do you think Forky uses?
Like to eat?
Yeah.
They don't eat.
Does Forky eat? No, what?
No, they
Forky
don't
could
eat.
Oh my god.
That's the magic of the toys. They're these immortal beings who require no sustenance.
I'm angry because you're correct.
That's why I like Toy Story 4, where it's like someone's sort of barging in like, these are immortal beings.
Yes.
Like they're like mole rats. Like as long as no one kills them, they're inevitable.
But
They
also,
never end.
It's incredibly hard to kill because, like, you go
Difficult
like
to
the
kill.
incinerator at the end of 3. That seems like that would do
That
them
would
in.
do him in, right?
But like Mr. Potato Head can pull off different parts of his body, and his consciousness transfers to whatever the parts are on. Like their eyes and their arms can function independently, right?
Insane superpower.
Right. Then all these other characters, like if their arm gets pulled off or ripped off, they can just reattach it and they gain full function.
Right.
But then you also have like Sid's Mutant Toys. I love that I'm making this into a Toy Story episode.
I have a
Keep
couple
going.
questions to ask you, and then we'll get to Ponyo.
But Sid's Mutant Toys, when he's like scrapping together pieces from all these different toys, they still retain their own consciousness. Like there's a new consciousness presumably formed by the combination of these separate parts.
I feel like this is how the pitch process went for Soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where that came from.
Pixar's Soul.
Yes.
A movie about
About Pixar's Soul.
yes,
I have a
about
couple
Pixar's
questions.
Soul. Yeah.
One.
Mhm.
Woody.
Okay.
Good guy.
Hell of a guy.
Cowboy.
Sheriff.
The whole series of movies
Yes.
are about his life with Andy and how idyllic it is, and then he gets passed on to Bonnie, and that's a little more rocky, right?
Well, he thinks it's idyllic, but there are a lot of challenges throughout that road. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Woody is he's like, I just want to get back to this thing that makes me very happy, and he's always stressed out.
He's always stressed
and makes
out.
him feel powerful.
I mean, wasn't
Yeah.
that a problem in Toy Story 1 where, like, the initial sort of cut of the movie, people were like, this guy is kind of insane. Like, they needed to sort of soften him a little
But he
bit.
still is incredibly
He's pretty.
harsh for a lead
He is.
character in a children's film.
But it's established in these movies that he's a hand-me-down from Andy's dad, probably,
Yes.
like, as sort of the thought.
They say he's an old family toy.
They say he's an old family toy.
Yeah.
Obviously, the second movie is like he's from this old TV show, this old like sort of
He's
rawhide
been around since the
style.
50s.
Right.
Jessie remembers her owner from the 50s. Prospector remembers not being purchased in the 50s.
Right.
Woody never talks about whatever happened
Why
before.
doesn't Woody talk about his life pre-Andy?
Well, it sounds like that's maybe the only thing they could make a 5 about.
That's a very good
Interesting, because I didn't get in a big fight, but I witnessed Emily getting in a screaming argument, not a screaming argument, an amusing fight over whether Tom Hanks sounds older now.
Oh.
And I kind of think he does when you watch those first.
The one
Toy
who
Story.
I think sounds older is Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Tim Allen sounds a lot older because the first one he's like, I'm Buzz Lightyear. And this one's like, hey, I'm Buzz Lightyear. He's like very like,
kids, I'm Buzz
kind of
Lightyear.
like, yeah.
He's a child.
Yeah.
Just weird because like when you think about the arc of the movies and like
Yeah.
he's given away from Andy and
Yes.
like that's such a where it's like he never talks about like how he definitely went through that before.
I kind of was
If it was
hoping-
within the family, it's a little different, obviously, than being given to a totally new person. But still,
I was hoping they were going to touch it in 4
Maybe
in some
Right.
way.
They're
they
gonna
would
touch
touch it.
Oh.
damn.
Ding dong.
Okay.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Boing, boing, boing.
What's up?
That's really all you're going to say to me is just, hey, what's up? You're going to rub your eyes and stare off into the middle
Really tired,
distance.
Checky.
I'm sorry, you didn't sleep well last night?
I mean, I slept okay, but like I feel like I only got like 6.5 hours. You know what I mean? I just didn't sleep enough last night.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry you're not sleeping
What's
well.
up with you?
I don't know. It's just been a little while. I want to check in, see how you guys are doing. I want to show you something here. Cling! Check out my knife.
Whoa. Checky, maybe point that, at the ground, not right into my chest.
What, Ben? What do you think? Cling!
Oh, damn it! You stabbed me, Checky.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I was trying to show off the shiny blade of my knife.
Okay, where'd you get the knife, Checky?
I got it in a box of awesome, of course. My favorite way to procure weapons.
Okay, but we should say that's not all. Bespoke Post has all kinds of products.
Well, look what I got right here.
Curated for different interests.
Look what I got right
What's he
here.
pulling out?
It's a mortar and pestle for making guacamole.
Okay, yeah, that's a little chiller. All right, okay, that's not quite so scary as a knife.
Is that bones?
Well, I got my own recipe.
So, Checky, what
Boing.
you're telling me
Mhm.
is that you upgraded your life to get a box of awesome from Bespoke Post every month.
Every month without fail.
So, perhaps you're looking to craft your own hard cider
Constantly.
or toast perfectly aged fall cocktail.
But of course.
Box of awesome from Bespoke Post, it's got you covered.
What?
They got
I'm
grooming
feigning surprise
goods.
because I know I'm their number one customer.
Yeah, they got style and grooming goods. They got barware. They got cooking tools. They got outdoor gear. They have all these carefully built collections for every part of your, check life. You're a living check.
Do they have Band-Aids for my wounds, Checky?
Okay. You know what? I mean, look, I did get a kit of toiletries here.
Yeah.
It's a nice sort of faux leather case here. Let me
Sure.
look through here. I got some shaving butter. Got some toothpaste.
Sure.
What else do I have here in this kit? Lather brush. No, I don't have any Band-Aids. You want any bone guacamole?
Yeah,
Put
sure,
that
why
on the
not?
wound. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and listen up, Ben.
What?
I'm just looking at some of the boxes they got right
Good
now.
box?
Well, there's this one called Raw Bar that's like oysters, and it says only ships east of the Mississippi. That's kinda
Whoa.
cool.
Kind
It's
of
like a sort of a
exclusive.
shucking kit.
Okay.
Don't tell Checky about that.
What?
Okay. Oh no, yeah, you're right. It has a sort of a sharp tool. I should
Oh,
have.
interesting.
There's this one Tara that I know you got that is a knife. But there's
Yes,
also
I
cool
did.
stuff like the speakeasy is a cocktail kit. Anyway, look, there's a lot of great
I've been
stuff.
using that one a lot too. You get it in my trip.
Yeah, Checky's a little toasted right now. All right. To get started, you're going to take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers are going to help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They'll release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel any time, and each box only costs $45 but has over $70 worth of gear inside. So, to get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code CHECK at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code CHECK for 20% off your first box.
Not code Checky.
Nope.
Not code Checky. Ponyo likes
No, it's okay.
ham.
Ponyo loves ham.
Loves ham.
Ponyo ate all the ham in the sandwiches.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Here's the bridge I'm gonna build back to Ponyo. So I hadn't seen this movie. Miyazaki neophyte. But I was trying to remember what my understanding of the film was when it came out.
Okay.
And it felt like they were sort of going like, this is like a little one. This is like very much a kid's movie. This is like a much smaller story in scale. I thought I was wrong about this, but I thought he had taken over this movie from someone else. Is there one of the Ghibli films that he directed that was originally supposed to be directed by someone else, and then he was like, fuck it, I'll do it? Or am I totally creating that?
It's a
I'm not
good
sure.
question.
I remember one of them being announced because of the fact that he kept on announcing retirements and not sticking to them.
Right.
I remember one of them being like, I wasn't going to direct it, but now we had developed it and then I ended up directing it.
Googling?
But the notion was definitely that this was like a smaller one in between,
It's
after a run of like.
It's Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I thought
That's
it
the
was.
one.
And I was
Okay.
just Hosada was supposed to make that,
Okay.
and Ghibli did not like his take on the movie, and
Okay.
they shelved it. And then Miyazaki was like, hang on here,
Yeah.
pulled
There's
it off
something
the
to
shelf.
salvage. Yeah.
I'm pulling something off the shelf here.
Mm.
Ponyo, I believe, was you know what?
David's
I
flexing. He's
can
getting ready.
Look at the internet,
Yeah.
can't I?
Mhm.
Was like them being like, let's do a no CGI movie again.
Right.
Let's have fun hand drawing
They
a movie.
shut
Right.
down their CGI department.
Right.
Because
and
when
sold
he
off the
said
computers and
when
stuff.
he said he was retiring, he didn't mean he wasn't going to make more movies. I think he just said he was retiring the way he would make them.
Interesting.
I think that's what that was. Anyway, I remember there was a lot of hoopla around him retiring, and
Yeah.
then his fans were like, "Hang on, what he actually said was he just doesn't want to make movies this way again." I can't remember the exact quote.
Because I
I'm
remember
looking at David in his laptop.
Right.
I remember certainly after
I don't know.
Howl's Moving Castle,
Mhm.
the sort of he might be done, he might be over.
Sure.
Mhm.
And then this movie felt like a surprise of he's doing this one, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have the same sort of sense of importance that the last couple have had.
Yes.
And this one never felt like it was going to be the last one, right?
No. He loved this movie so much that he wanted to make Ponyo 2
Right,
next.
right. Yeah.
Which is wild. And
Yeah.
I wish he had.
It's crazy this movie's 10 years ago, too. I just
Yeah.
like, that's a
Old
passage of
fucking
time
farts.
thing.
Yeah.
No,
I
I think it was Toshio Suzuki, the producer, the Ghibli producer guy,
Yeah.
who was like, what about this like incredible swan song project that you could do, you know, about like your father's job and like families pushing their sons away, you know what I mean? Like, you know, overcommitment to work. Japan!
Right.
About fucking Japan. Like,
It's just weird that
the war and everything after.
Ponyo comes in the middle of this run of him making increasingly like loftier and loftier movies.
Yes. Big epics, like big insane epics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very like
crossover
spiritual
epics. Right.
sort of, right.
And then he was like, no, I'll
Crossing
just
a lot
do
of realms,
like
yeah.
My Little Mermaid and it'll be like
That's
fully
the other thing.
delightful.
It's so weird that he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is what I think of the Little Mermaid.
Interesting. Different take.
Different
Yeah.
take.
Imagine if fucking King Triton had like a crazy stripy shirt and
Yeah.
like a little watering
It
can.
was a little wizard.
I have to say, I'm watching these movies like in the original subtitled versions.
Yes.
You know, because I feel like you gotta, right?
Yes.
Filmmakers intent,
Yes,
all of
I
that.
watched this in the subs. Yes.
But very
We'll
hard.
talk about it.
It's okay.
Very hard every time that character came on screen not to switch over audio track so I could hear Liam Neeson.
Neeson is
Leeson.
great. All right, what do you think of the dub? You wanted to say something. I feel like.
I was gonna say I've actually never watched it with the subtitles on.
Wow.
Does that make me like?
You're not bad. It's fine.
I'm a bad person.
But like theatrically, were any of these released with subtitles, or did you have to see
No,
them
these.
dubbed?
I remember this was dubbed. I took my little sister to go see it 10 years ago.
Hell yeah. 2009.
Your sister's about to graduate.
She's graduating high school.
That's why you're
this
in town.
week.
Right.
That
So
is
she
why
was,
I'm in town.
Like 8 years old at the time or whatever.
She was 7, yeah.
Crazy.
And then I had just graduated high school. At that time.
I had just, well, not just, I was out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember we watched. Yeah, there were no subtitles. It was just the dub. It was the Disney version.
I saw Spirited Away in theaters with subtitles, and it was like enough. You could.
It was
you
a
know, they
limited,
would
though.
delineate
Yeah.
like some will be subtitles, some will be dubbed, and I've seen those options available. But Ponyo definitely is a kids movie.
Right.
Obviously, kids are going to struggle with a subtitled movie.
Is this also
I
his
feel like the dub is
highest
wider.
grossing domestically?
You mean in Japan?
No, in the States. I
Oh, in
think
the
this is his
States.
biggest American release. I
Might
remember this
be.
overperforming.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Relative-
Yes, you're right.
yeah.
You're right. It made $15 million
Yeah.
to Spirited Away's 12,
Yeah.
which is domestically.
Right, it was kind of crazy.
by
It like came
domestic
out in
meaning
August,
US,
and it
right.
got the same sort of Disney release that usually doesn't work. And
Yeah.
this one did pretty well.
It did pretty well.
I think it
It's
just.
pretty fucking accessible.
Yeah.
It
No,
made
exactly.
$164 million in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy.
I mean, now that he's unretired again, has he talked about going back to the Ponyo well, as it were? Ponyo well.
I don't think he's someone to just sort of ruminate on, like, yeah, who knows? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems very one project.
I just
oriented.
love that
too,
he
more
was like,
Ponyo.
gotta make a sequel.
Yeah, no, I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
A hammier sequel.
A hammier sequel.
Ponyo 2, The Secret of Curly's Ham. I don't know. Ponyo. Fuck.
What about Ponyo?
Oh, yeah, no. I saw it in theaters. Delighted. Loved it. But then I have seen the dub many times because it used to be on cable all the time.
Okay.
And so it's the only one where I'm very familiar with the dub. So I will say Neeson crushes it, does a great job.
Yeah.
Absolutely crushes it.
I have to find Ponyo.
But also Tina Fey crushes it as Lisa.
Tina
That's
Fey-
part of the appeal. Now go
As
on.
Lisa, my wife, Lisa.
The writing is also
So
fairly
good.
different because when I was switching back and forth between the two, I would put on the American dub, but with the
Japanese subtitle. Japanese
Exactly.
English subtitles, right?
right, and they do definitely change the language a bunch.
Yeah, that's why
the
I am
intent
always,
is the same in every
Yeah.
scene.
It's
but,
why I'm
yeah.
always most in favor of the sub because it's sort of, the original version because that's the
Right.
original version. So
Right.
That's usually what I do when I watch anime. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ponyo is a little kid's movie, and so I've always been much more forgiving of its dub. That's all.
Ponyo is
Okay.
also
Noah Cyrus.
a little kid.
Noah Cyrus.
You got Noah Cyrus and you have Frankie Jonas, also known as the Bonus Jonas. Are you familiar with this phenomenon?
Are you looking at me?
Yes.
I am vaguely familiar.
When the
He's
Jonas
the fourth
Brothers
Jonas,
were
right?
blowing up for the first time, another thing that now for the first time
I'm sorry,
makes
that would
me-
be burning up. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, when they were
Burning.
burning up. Yeah, Frankie
Thank you.
Jonas, the Bonus Jonas. That's the other thing that makes me feel like, wow, time has passed.
Right.
that now the Jonas Brothers are having this comeback, and it's like supposed to be a big deal. It's like it's their first album together in 7 years.
It is a big deal.
And I'm like, enough time has
Passed, like
elapsed
that there's nostalgia for the Jonas Brothers.
that they
Yeah.
rose, they peaked, they
disappeared.
started to fall,
Right.
they broke up,
Yeah.
they had separate careers. Nick Jonas gave the greatest performance in modern American cinema in Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, and then now they're back together, and people are like emotional about it.
Yeah.
Did you like the Jonases?
You did.
I
Because you
liked
were in
them
high
fine.
school for the Jonas Brothers, right?
Yes, I was.
Congratulations.
God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, no, I liked him great. Like it's
You liked him great?
yeah, I can't
You liked
talk.
them very great.
Well, I'm trying to hedge it a little bit because I was not like I didn't go to their concerts or anything
They
like
weren't
that.
your favorite.
Okay. You
Yeah,
weren't,
I
like,
wasn't like
what do you-
wearing shirts. I wasn't
What do you call like a Jonas head?
a Jonas head.
No, what seriously? Come on.
I'm
what are
actually
they?
not sure. Yeah, so I wasn't part of that army.
That made I always thought that was so funny that they were like, here are the three brothers in a band, and there's a bonus Jonas, and it was just their little brother who they would like bring out on
Yeah.
stage, and he would like dance for a moment, and they'd be like, "There's your bonus Jonas."
A little Easter egg.
Yeah,
A little cameo.
yeah.
Jonatics?
Joan Addicts.
Oh.
No, thank you.
That sounds
It's
like
not
a
really
more
fun.
like for Joan Rivers fans.
I am. In that case, I'm a Jonatic.
Yeah, I'm a Jonatic. Yeah,
It's a little hard to say.
yeah.
So,
Jonatic?
yes, I think the original idea is
Uh-huh.
Miyazaki's like the Little Mermaid.
Mhm.
But then whatever he's writing is obviously
Yeah.
almost immediately disappearing.
Right, because he wasn't trying to base the story on The Little Mermaid. He was just inspired by it.
But there is,
Yeah.
she is going to turn into sea foam.
Yeah, well, I think he just really wanted to draw the ocean.
But that was the thing, right?
Yeah.
He's really just like, what about if we could fucking hand draw the ocean and put all these computers to shame?
That's what
Yeah.
he did. Mr. Miyazaki sat down when I want to fucking draw the ocean.
Exactly.
You want to cuck some computers. That's what this movie is.
Exactly.
Yeah, Miyazaki cucking computers.
And he preferred to draw the sea and the waves himself.
Yeah.
Just by himself.
It tells you a lot about the guy.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
170,000 separate images in this
Yeah.
film. A record.
170,000, yeah.
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 And Ponyo is Miyazaki's idea of the noise of a soft, squishy thing.
Right, it's an onomatopoeia.
Ponyo.
Ponyo.
Ponyo?
Ponyo. And the thing about him is like I'm sure you guys are going to talk about this on all the other. Oh my god, the time of this is anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he does like to hand draw everything himself, and he does like to, he's really meticulous about it, and a lot of other Japanese animators don't do that, right? Like
I
Mamoru
think
Oshii
most
didn't do that.
directors don't.
Well,
Right, and
no, yeah.
Takahata didn't know how to draw.
Exactly. Yeah. So for him to sit down and be like, let's do 170,000 this. Yeah.
David is miming drawing.
Whereas, I think Takahata just had
David's
a gun
drawing
and
is
he'd
more
be
like scratching.
Draw fast.
Yeah.
Here is the town
Uh-huh.
that he based it on.
Mm.
The real town, a real seaside village
Yeah.
he visited. Tamanura.
What's also to Shirley's
Shut up,
point.
Shirley.
That was fine. It was
Yeah,
good.
Shirley,
I know.
shut up.
It's fine.
To Shirley's point, a thing I talk about a lot that no one else seems as interested in as I am, this increasing trend of American animated films being
A fucking scroll. Like, here are the things I talk about that no one seems interested in.
The hair just got cold in the room.
Griffin, there's all this trash in here.
It's like, the scroll keeps bouncing off the walls.
Oh my god, Ben's disappeared.
Can you drown in a scroll?
a ham.
Ham.
Okay.
A ham. 5 comedy points, Shirley.
Thanks.
This thing where American animated films are increasingly being directed or co-directed by people who have literally zero animation experience. Where it's not only people who came up in animation but don't really draw themselves or don't really animate themselves, but people who just are I'm Rodney Rothman.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
It feels like now American animation studios want to cut the animation in sticks, and they're like, we don't want to be too animated. So bring in some live action comedy writer.
Right. Some
And have them
Letterman guy.
co-direct the movie to just give notes
Yeah.
without any understanding of the technical aspects of the thing.
It seems weird and counterintuitive.
It's weird.
that he would just say to an animator, make this happen, and
Yeah.
then they would have to be like, oh, well, that's going to be hard to do because
Right.
of X, Y, and Z.
Right, so they always have a co-director
Right,
who's,
who's
the
no,
animation.
we can't do that. Right.
But it is DreamWorks, Illumination, all these studios are doing that more and more and more, where it's here's Scott Mosier Kevin Smith's old buddy, co-directing The Grinch.
He co-directed the.
Yeah, and you're like, what's the chain that leads to that happening?
I don't know. Maybe he had a great Grinch pitch.
Maybe.
The
The pitch was, what if the Grinch sounds like Griffin Newman?
Grinch in a pinch.
Does he sound like Griffin Newman?
Yeah, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, sounds like me. He's like, I hate Christmas. And I'm like, why did you hire Benedict
But
Cumberbatch?
who could be like, I hate Christmas.
I am the
Grinch. Right.
Instead, he's like, I don't know, I hate Christmas.
Whatever.
He sounds so much like me in that trailer. It's bizarre.
But you haven't seen the
Oh,
film.
wow.
No, I haven't seen the film.
I was just wondering.
It might freak me out, hearing the sound of my own voice that much.
So you don't listen to this podcast.
He doesn't. Not usually, I don't think.
No, I listen
Sometimes,
sometimes.
okay.
I listen sometimes. I'm not an avid listener. David listens to every episode and subscribes to our Patreon and pays us money.
Griffin thinks this is funny.
A cut of
I
that
think
money
it's funny,
goes to
too.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Well, you know, doing us a fine service.
Delighted in this.
He listens all the time.
I love it.
That's what he always says. He goes,
It's the only thing he listens
He
to.
goes-
He's given up music.
it's a great podcast.
He's quit it.
That's his answer. He goes,
Good
I love
podcast.
it. It's a
Like
good
hearing
podcast. I love listening to it.
Well, the other thing is also we record episodes so many months in advance that sometimes I literally am like, oh, I don't remember anything that we said on that podcast. Like, not one thing.
Yeah, and then I'll hear a bit and I'll be like, oh, I should have driven that into the ground. Like, I should have remembered to do that multiple weeks in a
I
row.
will often be, I'm sure you do this too, where you're listening and someone says something and you're like, well, what I would say at this point is this, and then you say it. Like 3 months ago.
I forget what it was, but there was some bridge we established at one point between Star Wars and the Cars franchise.
Sure.
And I said "Wow Mater" instead of "Wow Vader," and it has been driving me crazy from. Like I listened to it,
You had to go on like a 2-week seclusion.
I was like, "That's the one time I would have been able to go, wow, Vader," and I didn't do it.
You did it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did it.
We
Now.
can splice it in.
Yeah, someone cut
Yeah.
it back into whatever episode
Please.
that was.
Ben,
Yes, sir.
how you doing?
Ben's on his phone.
He's texting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just doing work stuff. I'm doing great. I love this movie so much.
I wanted to bring you in because this is a film with some H2O.
Yeah.
It's
And
made
I'm
for
a-
Ben.
It's a soggy.
It just
I
looks like
love wet movies.
it's a suck.
Miyazaki.
But in all,
It sneaks up on you, and then it's just fucking
Miyazaki.
water.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Miyazaki.
Like,
Miyazaki film, yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
More comedy
yeah.
points.
Yeah.
Thank you.
10 comedy points.
Shirley
But
Li.
in
Brilliant.
all seriousness, I will say this about the portrayal of the ocean life and the idea that is, it's a kid's movie, but they're really trying to sell the viewer on pollution's bad and we have
100%.
to treat the ocean with respect.
Yeah.
That really got me, and I really think that that's a great moral and lesson in the movie.
I agree with that. Also, this movie has good broth.
It does.
You gotta have a good broth.
They spend a lot of time on food and preparation.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Miyazaki hallmark, but yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
David
100%.
looks so self-satisfied right now.
It's the process.
Good broth.
No, this whole time he wasn't even listening to Ben. He was
Yeah.
just like, I want to
like,
talk
talking
about
about the
the,
ocean. I'm like, whatever.
broth.
Well, that's how it goes.
No. I mean, I think, that he begins the movie. We can get into the start of with that just like
As films do.
pristine. He begins the movie, as films do, with a beginning.
Yeah, yes. He starts.
It's like this beautiful magical kingdom,
It's
right?
crazy.
It's so like serene
Gorgeous.
and wonderful.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just Ponyo riding a little jellyfish.
And the
Well, I
colors
mean-
are fucking insane.
We
Yes.
got to talk about Fujimoto, right? Her wizard father.
Hell yeah.
And the ship, because I think the ship's design is actually one of the like
These crazy submarine
it's somewhere
magic bubbles.
like in this film that like takes place in, what did you say? Like it's just like you can drive everywhere in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Like
a very
it's like
small
there's only
amount
a
of-
little
You're
bit
either
of
on top of the hill or
yeah.
not.
You can only throw in so many fantastical elements that like he really loves doing.
Yes.
So he put a lot of effort into designing that ship and I love it.
Yeah.
The ship
Yeah.
is so
It
overflowing
flaps.
with craziness. He is so crazy, Fujimoto.
Well, that was like Miyazaki's whole idea that it's like the villain, quote unquote, of the film is a father who kind of drives his son away by caring too much. His
Right.
daughter away, I mean. Sorry. Yes.
Right.
But that it was like the fact that like the villain is like, we have to save the planet.
Right.
Like he's like fighting for the right thing.
Right.
And he's doing everything based out of the fact that he loves Ponyo.
Yeah, and he also knows like if Ponyo, eats human food and all that could turn into sea foam.
Right, but he's like
Issue.
too overbearing in a way that ends up hurting the causes he's trying to fight for.
Right.
That having been said, man can wear the fuck out of a jacket.
Yeah, those stripes are looking good on
Yeah.
a boy.
He does have an incredible wardrobe.
Imagine Liam Neeson styled like this in real life.
I don't want to.
Come on. Shirley, imagine!
Surely. Imagine Liam Neeson. All right.
Imagine.
I don't want to go any further with that.
Why? I think Liam Neeson jokes are really, it's a good time to make Liam Neeson jokes.
Do you think by October people will have just forgotten about that and we can remind them now?
No, I feel like maybe there will be another headline.
No. They will have forgotten because, of course, America has high tea fever. America cannot stop talking about high tea, Liam Neeson's incredible breakout character from Men in Black International.
They fucking love him.
A very funny joke implying that he has high testosterone.
Oh, I know. I took it as high tea, like the British tea service.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was high tea like testosterone.
No, it's
British
just like
tea service. What's that? What are you talking
Why
about?
would you know
No,
that?
I'm just asking. I'm not doing the bit. What's high tea?
it's like this thing that I feel like mostly, a tourist visiting Britain likes to do.
Okay,
which
so
is
a
like,
thing you've done once or twice.
which is like, the very fancy tea service with all of the
Okay.
cutlery,
Oh,
and then like the little tower of
Those
sandwiches
those
and
little
all that stuff.
crust cut off
Right.
sandwiches.
Right.
See, I thought it was
And
a
to say
joke.
high tea.
I thought
You
it
thought
was
a
about-
testosterone. He was like, my balls are so big.
Yeah, that was a joke about Liam Neeson having a killer hog.
He does.
That's what I'm saying.
He's got a big boy.
Him
We
and
all
Uncle
know.
Milty, yeah.
Him and Uncle Milty.
Yeah.
Did you see Men in Black International?
Nope.
I haven't either. I just read the Wikipedia page.
Nope.
I saw his character.
I mean, it's October now, so I could say I looked at the cast list
Okay.
and predicted the twist. I just had to look at IMDb.
What's
Yeah.
the twist?
I just looked at the cast list and I was like,
Here's
Rafe-
the twist. They're aliens.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's
There
very
are
twisty.
Aliens.
What?
They exist.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
no,
David
no,
looked
I
at
looked
the cast list and
and I was like,
identified-
Rafe Spall's in this. He's going to be the red herring villain and Liam Neeson will be the villain. Just because like casting Rafe Spall, it's either like you're just lazy and you want an English villain, or you like think you're being real clever and you're like, yeah, we'll cast this guy who reeks of English villain.
Yeah.
Then it'll turn out he's just annoying.
Reeks of English villain. I
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like a terrible perfume.
Right, exactly.
See,
cologne.
here's the other thing
Oh,
I
the villain.
dislike about the high tea thing.
Yeah.
They've never had modifiers like that. It's always just been
which
the
is why
letter.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I hate high tea.
I hate high tea. But here's the other thing
He's
I
my
hate.
least favorite character ever.
Okay, we
Here's the
hate
other thing
high tea.
I hate.
Yeah.
Men in Black is an American concept.
Of course.
No one in Britain is like, here come the Men in Black, like the famed like G-Men. That's a totally
doesn't make sense.
American
That's why
thing.
they called it international, David.
Fuck, you're right. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm going to write a check to F. Gary Gray right now, who apparently didn't have final cut.
And apparently tried to quit the movie several times
Yeah.
during
Oof.
production.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, what's he going to do except have millions of dollars?
Yeah.
No, I do feel bad for him too because
Yeah.
his name's on that piece of shit.
Mm.
Next
That sucks.
time, ask me. I'll do it. I'll step in.
It is one of those things,
I don't
though.
care. Like, I'll direct fucking Men in Black International.
You feel
Two.
like if the premise was we
Yeah.
do Men in Black overseas,
Right.
you should spend work to try to figure out what the foreign equivalent of the Men in Black
Exactly.
archetype would be.
And instead they're just like, they wear like black and white suits, they have sunglasses,
right.
have a secret base, deal with aliens.
Right. It seems like their premise was
high
just
tea.
high tea.
You see? I mean, the thing that blows my mind about the like production article that was
Yeah.
it's like the studio was torn on Men in Black International or a Men in Black 21 Jump Street spin-off,
Right.
like
Oh.
merging of the universes. And I'm like, when you're torn on those two things, just settle down, go back, think of more things.
Yeah.
Like, those don't have to be the final two choices where you're like, we have to do one or the other.
Also,
That's it. Make your choice.
someone said, like, it's not a franchise killer, like in talking about the box office of Men in Black International. I love that we're coming in with the piping hot Men in Black
no
International
fucking
takes
Do it.
when one of the four of us has seen this movie.
That came out 5 months ago.
Right, but everything it represents I find fascinating.
No,
but they were like, Sony's definitely going to have to put Men in Black on ice for a little while now and not rush into another reboot. And it's like, what? Or they just never make one again. What are you talking about?
Fucking easy. And don't do it. Men in Black 2 is bad.
There's
Men in Black
one
3 is
good Men
bad.
in Black
Yes.
movie.
And then people are like, well, Men in Black 3 is okay. And I'm like, only compared to
Yeah.
other Men in Black sequels
Right.
is it okay.
The second best Men in Black movie is Men in Black the Animated Series.
100%.
Yeah.
The third best Men in Black movie is, I don't know, like a fucking phone game probably, right? I don't know. Like, what else is
Oh,
it?
there's a ride at Universal that rules.
That's it. Number
Oh, I
3.
love that
And
one.
Will Smith is in it.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's
Sounds
canon.
good.
It counts.
That's number
Will Smith's
3.
in it. Rip Torn's
Yeah.
in it.
The fourth best Men in Black movie is Will Smith trying to crawl over all those pipes
Yes.
in Men in Black 2.
Yeah,
Just
I'd also-
watched as a 1 minute scene.
I'd say the Men in Black music videos are better than 2, 3, or International.
The original Men in Black one is better, but
Nod Your Head is
No.
a fucking great video.
Nod Your Head is
Nod your head, black suits coming.
I remember that. Do you remember Nod Your Head, Black Suits Coming?
don't.
You don't remember Nod Your Head, Black
It
Suits?
was
No,
the
I
song
don't.
from Men in Black 2.
I don't.
And it
My
was-
memory's been erased.
You're
Thanks.
neuralized.
Well, the song is sort
Go
of
on though. This
Like
is fun.
America was neuralized about Linda Fiorentino.
Oh.
This is my conspiracy theory.
It's a great song because it's a command and then it follows up with an explanation. So they're saying, nod your head.
Coming.
And it's like,
Okay.
wait a second, but I'll tell you why Black Suit's coming.
Makes absolutely no sense because when the Men in Black are coming, you don't nod your head like, I like that they're here. yes. It just feels like that was the end of people being like, if Will Smith's in a movie, he needs to rap a song
That is
over the credits. Like it has.
Hitch is the last one, I
Does
think.
he do one for Hitch?
I feel like Hitch has a song called Switch. Am I wrong about that?
Well, Switch is a Will Smith song. I just didn't know it was
I think
attached
it's in
to
the end
Hitch.
credits, yeah.
But then there was just
That
like
was a
some
missed
fucking-
opportunity for Hitch to Hitch.
It was just
I
some
know.
Fine, go
focus
on.
group being like, all right, the Dougie, the electric
Uh-huh.
side, like and someone was just like, what about nodding?
Yeah,
Like,
what about-
no one's ever made a dance move out of just nodding your head.
I hope there's an actor who just decides to start like doing their SoundCloud rap for like their movies. I think that's like other actors should do that.
Yeah, sure. Jonah
Totally,
Hill.
bring it back.
I don't know.
Bring
Yeah,
in Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, yeah, get him rapping.
Those are the credits for
Clint
Once Upon a
Eastwood
Time.
did it for
Yeah.
Gran
Gran
Torino.
Torino, yeah.
He sang a song.
Wait, do you not know that?
No.
Yeah, he's like,
Gran Torino.
like, we're not joking. That's what the song is like.
That is my car.
Like when you exit
like
that movie and you
twinkling
hear
sad
it, you're
piano.
like, did someone like start an air conditioner in another room? And then you're like, oh no, I guess Clint Eastwood is singing? What's that low rumble?
Gran Torino.
You know how like the decimal meter, like, you know, an airplane taking
Like
off
dogs
is like at the high.
dogs are like howling.
Clint Eastwood singing is like 1 decibel.
It should just be like Desperado. It should be like Gran Torino.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you come to your senses? I
think-
guess I
do you
literally wanted to change that one word.
Do you
Why?
think Clint Eastwood should join the Eagles?
I think Clint Eastwood should join the
I'll
Eagles.
whip you into shape.
One of my favorite things to do with karaoke is pick Nod Your Head, Black Suits Coming. Refuse to look at the lyrics and just try to, within the rhythms of the song, describe what I remember the plot of Men in Black 2 being. So I do it like with the same enthusiasm.
The plot is like Rosario Dawson's the love interest, but then it turns out she's like an alien artifact or
She's like
something.
a
She's like a
princess.
star.
Right. And
Laura Flynn Boyle is trying to get her. Yeah.
who's got plant arms.
Yeah.
And she used to date Tommy Lee Jones, which is why they have to deneuralize him.
Right. But then
So he can remember.
But then they deneuralize him and he's like, I still don't remember.
Right.
Which has to happen
'Cause
because
I
otherwise
think
the movie would be over.
They have the real deneuralizer, which they can't get to work, so they have to go to Tony Shalhoub, and he's got like a janky
Yes, that's right.
deneuralizer.
That's right.
And he's like, it might not work perfectly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, I just can't get over the fact that in the first one, they almost suggest that Linda Fiorentino has sex with the corpses.
Yes.
Like, it looks like there's like a 50-50 chance that that's what she's about to say.
Yes.
Because she says to Will Smith, like, you know what I like to do when no one's around. And then they get cut off.
Yeah.
And she's either saying, like, I have sex near the corpses or with the corpses.
It
It's
definitely-
one or
it's-
the
it's
other.
sexual.
She's having sex with something.
She's about to reveal something sexual.
Right. And it never comes up again.
Yeah.
And then there's that whole extended thing where they're yelling at each other where he's like, you know, you got a whole Queen of the Undead vibe, and it's so funny. That movie's a fucking masterpiece.
It's a
It's 98 minutes long.
It's perfect.
You like Men in Black?
I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Gotta rewatch it.
Well, you should nod your head.
Gotta nod your head.
God.
Well, you know what a movie I saw recently?
Do you, Ben?
Ponyo.
I just want to say, Ben leaned into the mic and said, "You want to know a movie that I saw recently?"
Nod your head.
While vape was coming out, pouring out of his lips.
Black Suit's coming.
Black Suit's coming.
Yeah, no, okay. So Ponyo, you know what? Her real name's Brunhilde.
Yes.
As
It's a reference to Wagner.
That's right.
Mm.
She lives in an underwater magical submarine
Yeah.
with her dad, who is a sea wizard, and
Which
her
is like the best kind of wizard.
right, and her sisters, who are little planktons. I don't know how else
Little-
to. They're like
little
mini
girl
Ponyos.
babies.
Yeah.
I love them.
Right.
They
And
go. "Meow,
they do. They fucking rule. I mean, I'm not.
Good
I mean,
impression.
they are the best. They're like among the 10 best things in the
Yeah,
world.
and she always gives one of them a little kiss.
Yes.
And whenever she does that, I feel that.
I wish I had little copies of me floating around me.
And it's just immediately, it's like this movie just has, something is moving in this movie all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like it's so energetic and like all the just undulations and I love it.
I couldn't believe how crazy this opening was.
Yeah. Right, because the
it's
opening,
like so operatic.
There's a cold open.
Yes.
Right. And she gets on a jellyfish, she like floats up, and then we have the like credit sequence.
And it feels like you're watching like a laser light show or something. It's like so sparkly and colorful and fast.
And like
the music is just like going insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Finding Nemo. It's one of my preferred Pixar movies. And it's so pretty and it's so colorful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, you lack that crazy motion.
Right.
Because the ocean is basically kind of clear in Finding Nemo.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it has I keep doing this with my
No, it's always
fingers.
undulating.
Yeah. Wobbly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wobbly.
And then she, gets captured by a fishing trawler, and it's like classic Miyazaki, like, hits you with the hook.
Mm-hmm. She gets
Really
trapped
early on.
into a little glass jar.
Yeah.
And she
And then
can't wriggle her way free.
I just like that takes a while.
Yeah.
That you see her trying to escape, but it's inevitable, and all the garbage is around
And
her.
I love that she moves like a little shark, like a little baby shark. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, and then she can't get out of it, and we're all doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're Baby Sharking.
Right. Do you like this?
Do I like Baby Shark?
No. Well, sure.
It bobbed.
How about Left Shark?
No, I don't care for Left Shark. Yeah, I like all of this. I admit it was a little jarring for me to jump from Castle in the Sky to Ponyo. Sure. I feel like I'm missing a lot of steps in between.
That's fair visual-wise. But Ponyo is kind of an odd one anyway. I mean, Ponyo's closest sibling is Totoro.
Yes.
Those are the two most like child's eye
like
vision.
simple,
Stories that he's told.
well, like simple fable.
Totoro is much simpler. Totoro is like insanely, like elementally simple. This has like some shit that needs explaining, and there's like, oh no, if she doesn't do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a little bit more like of a quest.
Conflict.
Or there's
Right.
there's more conflict. That's
Yeah.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Totoro is pretty.
Totoro is just like, yay,
yay,
things are happening, and in like the last 20 minutes, it's like, oh no, she's run off.
But I think, I mean, I love every minute of Ponyo, but the first chunk where it's really just about like that feeling when you're a kid, when you find a special thing that's for you, and you're,
You love it so.
you have like an emotional
much.
relationship
Like
with
the
a
way
thing.
that Bonnie
Forky.
loves Forky.
Thank
yes.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Absolutely. That's the idea of Forky, right?
Can I ask you, do you view Bonnie as competition at all?
I just don't know any way I can answer that question without fully canceling
But the thing
myself.
is, Bonnie is Forky's creator. You know,
right.
so you gotta.
Right.
Bonnie loves Forky the way a parent loves a child.
Like the way God loves all his children.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. David loves Forky on a more sexual peer-to-peer level.
There's just no sex with the toys. One of the things I loved about Toy Story 4 was that Woody and Buzz didn't, not Woody and Buzz. Well,
Yeah.
hey, that's another question.
Yeah.
Woody and Bo didn't kiss. Because I was like, let's not get into that idea. You know what I mean? Like that they would find pleasure in
And
touching.
you love kissing.
Love kissing. Good kisses in this movie.
Yeah, there's a very good one.
Very
I should make it
innocent
clear. When
kissing.
I say that David loves kissing, it's not that David loves kissing other people. David loves hearing that other people have kissed.
True. I do love, like, to myself
Well, okay,
kiss.
come on.
But I'm not going around, kissing
Smooching,
people.
just
Right,
smooching away.
right. Being like, let's kiss.
No, you save that for one special spork.
But I love to hear that people have
Gotta give him a
kissed.
big smooch.
I almost always love to hear that people have kissed.
Yeah,
And I love a good kiss in a movie.
right.
And I abhor a bad kiss.
You
a
were
bad
very
kiss.
angry about Aladdin.
There's that.
That was a bad
fucking-
kiss?
You didn't see Aladdin?
I skipped the screening.
Whole New World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It's
well,
between Carpet and Abu, right?
Ooh.
No, if you remember, at the end of A Whole
It
New
was like
World,
licking the tassels.
in the cartoon, in the
Yes.
animated version, there's that moment where the carpet kind of like kicks Aladdin up so
Yeah.
he'll kiss Jasmine, and they have like
Adorable.
a pretty fucking hot kiss,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, like that. You're like fucking Arsenioing over here. Griffin is losing his mind.
No one makes you sillier than Shirley. It is like truly.
It is true. I mean, Shirley and
beautiful.
Ponyo is also.
It didn't do anything.
Yeah. Go on. What about the kiss? It was
And
bad.
then they, as they do almost everything in the live action remake, they kind of recreate the moment in the live action remake, and like they barely, I don't know, it's lame. And these are two hotties,
irony
and
is
they're
it's
humans.
lifeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, I mean, these two people have been watching them for an hour, and I'm like, I can't wait to see these two kiss. This sounds great. Love them kissing.
Beautiful.
Not much to say about the movie, but I'll see them kiss. And they kiss, and you're like, that's it?
Yeah.
Jesus. And then Will Smith falls in love with Nasim Pedrad. Weird movie.
Do they kiss?
Yeah,
This is
don't
my
think
summer where I
they-
decided to see nothing.
Know that they kiss.
Yeah.
They definitely hug. I don't know.
And they fuck, right? Because don't they have little babies?
I mean, yeah, off screen they have sexual.
Do you
love.
see the
do it
ba-
on screen.
I don't think they fuck on screen.
But you're not so into hugs. Like
with a
yeah,
hug, but I
kisses.
mean, like, kissing is pretty cool. And
X's over O's.
like, I nodded.
Yes.
I gave a sort of.
Do you like sloppy?
It was a very
kissing?
solemn nod.
Do you like in a movie?
Nod
where
your head, a
it would
solemn
be
nod
like-
your head.
Hey, 10 comedy.
Nod your
That's
head. Kiss boys coming. What?
Do you like a sloppy kiss?
Like what's
Like
like?
a lot of tongue and like when people are like gross kissing on purpose because they're so in love.
If it's for real,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it because
I
then
love
it's
a sloppy kiss.
exactly. Then it's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
if,
least surprising thing I've ever read.
you telling me Ben's a little sloppy?
It's the saliva, Ben. Isn't it?
I bet your goal is that zero tongue lands inside the mouth. I imagine you're just licking the outside of her cheeks.
Oh God!
No comment.
Hey, don't get mad at me, Shirley. This is what Ben does.
All these images.
Hey, you're supposed to put stuff on your feet before you put your shoes on.
This is solid gold, Ben. We're gonna roll with this.
Wait a second. Speak on this, Ben.
Yeah. If you wear shoes or boots
Okay.
or sneakers,
Uh-huh.
you can't just do skin to sneaker shoe footwear.
Oh.
You gotta have a sock.
In fact,
Of
socks,
course.
the number one most requested clothing item in homeless shelters.
Interesting.
So Bombas sock makers,
Uh-huh.
this is a sock company.
Yeah.
They're on a mission to change that. They've got these real comfortable socks, apparently the most comfortable in the history of feet.
The socks are good for you to wear. That's point one. When you wear them, you will like them and
Put
feel
on
good.
sock, feel good.
Great.
Hold on, I'm just gonna Wikipedia feet.
Uh,
Wow, yes, it is the most comfortable.
Well, now you're just looking at Wiki Feet.
But for every pair of socks purchased,
This is
Bombas
point two.
also donates a pair to someone in need. Okay?
That's the big thing.
They've donated over 20 million pairs and counting. That's pretty cool.
You're helping someone every time you slip on a pair of Bombas.
They've got cool colors, patterns, lengths, styles. It's perfect for the whole family. Made from super soft natural cotton. Every pair is designed with arch support and a seamless toe and a cushioned footbed that's supportive but not too thick.
They got merino wool socks, which are designed to be breathable and dry and never itchy. Just the right amount of thickness.
Yep, they're great. We love these socks. I wear them every day. It's just nice to know that like people's feet are being, needy people feet toasty.
I feel great.
Yeah.
Wearing
It's-
socks.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish that statement. Here's the thing about wearing a pair of Bombas. You feel good in two ways at once.
Exactly.
First, you're like, my feet feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then you're like, my conscience feels even better. Because I'm not bankrolling Big Sock,
Listen up.
probably
Big
using their
Sock.
money to create oil pipelines.
Right, exactly. And you can save 20% on your first purchase when you shop at bombas.com/check. That's bombas.com/check to save 20%.
My ears are burning.
Okay.
Did you say checky?
No.
Sure, not really. I said the first half
once
of your
again
name.
is bombas.com/check.
That's right.
Ponyo.
Ponyo.
Yeah, okay. So Ponyo is rescued
By
Uh,
Sosuke.
by Sosuke, who is an adorable little boy in short pants.
It's a bonus Jonas.
He is the bonus Jonas in the
And he lives on a cliff.
he lives on a cliff by the sea with his mommy, his dad, too, but he is on a boat for the whole movie,
yes.
so that's what he's doing.
Mhm.
He's a little boy, he has short pants.
He
I think
exclusively
he's-
calls his mommy by her first name.
Yeah, which is funny.
Proper first
in
name,
the
Lisa.
in the original version too. Not sure
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Although it's the subtitle, so I can't testify as to the word he's using in Japanese.
Sure.
But calls her Lisa in the subtitles. Not sure why.
Yeah.
Weird one.
Yeah.
What's up with that, Shirley?
He's mature for his age.
Yes.
That is,
They have a very
yeah.
business-like
He's-
relationship.
Yeah, and he goes with Lisa to the senior home,
Right?
Mm.
right?
Helps
Like, and
out.
he's very helpful. He's a very good little boy, a good
He
little
is
man. He's the man of the house.
He's man.
The movie talks about this. Yeah.
Calling parents by their first name when you're a kid is a great bit. I did it all the time.
I usually refer to my father by his full name. I call him Peter Newman in most interactions.
Oh, Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete, or I'll call him Pistol Pete, Petite Pete.
I call my dad Bobby Baby.
You call your dad Bobby Baby.
Bobby, baby. Bobby, honey. Bobby.
What do you
Robert, darling.
What do you call your parents, Shirley?
I call him mom and dad.
Yeah.
It's really boring. And then in Chinese, I just call them Papa, Mama. And that's
The
it.
equivalent.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, nothing special.
I do think it's interesting when you hit that age where you're like,
How do I, when you're transitioning out
Right.
of the babyish, mommy, daddy, whatever.
that's because
mama,
I was very
papa,
much
whatever.
I was a mommy papa guy, and those don't age well.
They don't age
Mommy,
well.
poppy.
But it is
Yeah.
hard, and I wonder if the parents have to be involved, like at identifying the moment where you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
No more. I'm not mommy.
I'm cutting you off.
It's
I'm not
over.
mommy. I'm Lisa.
And you have a sibling who's much younger than you, which means that probably the word
Was perpetuated for much
exactly.
longer.
So maybe
Right.
that would mess things up more. I don't know.
that did mess things up with.
Because
Yeah.
you have a much younger sibling too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister. Yeah.
She's like
Actually,
10 years younger than you.
I think you're on something here.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think that's why, like, you just kind of stick with the juvenile way of calling your parents. Although I don't know.
I don't know.
still feel weird.
Well, Sosuke calls his mommy Lisa, and he is a classic Miyazaki protagonist in that he is practical.
You just punched your
and
mic.
He kind of has a can-do attitude, but he's also pretty connected to nature.
Yeah.
And I think he's great.
Yeah.
Any of his future endeavors, if he wants to look me up, I'm happy to help him
Yeah.
out. I think he's super fucking cool.
Yeah.
I like his pants.
Would
Yeah.
you vote for him in the Democratic primaries?
I think, yes, of course.
Yeah. Of course.
100%. He's
No
the kind
question.
of optimism,
Yeah.
Yeah.
future thinking that we need right
You guys
now.
should start a podcast.
Me and Sosuke?
Yeah.
Sims and Sosuke.
Sosuke loves
cast.
Ponyo. Shortscast, right. Finds little baby Ponyo in a bottle, gets how to fix it, cracks it with a rock.
Yeah.
But that's also means
Figures
that
that out.
he's got a little drop of blood.
Oh, cuts his
He
hand.
cuts his finger.
Sosuke licks it. I mean, Ponyo licks it. Ponyo licks it.
Yeah.
And apparently that's sort of the moment that seals her as
Yeah.
having
It's a
one
little
foot in
magic.
the human world. Yes.
Right. I mean, that's the weird thing in this movie is it's like, oh, you think it's just to show that she is magical and that she can fix wounds, but it's also that that's the way she gets infected by the curse of humanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. She
But-
absorbs his blood and then turns into like a yeah.
To Fujimoto,
Hell
it's like
yeah. I mean, it's real
exactly what
metal.
you're saying. It's like, fuck, humanity's in her now.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
disaster.
Right.
I hate those
Now
guys.
she's got chicken arms and legs.
Well, that takes her. It takes her a while before
Yeah.
she gets her chicken arms and legs.
Yeah.
But at first, what was it? But is it bad? No,
No.
it's good.
Yeah.
But definitely need that. You need that bond.
Yeah, and he's delighted to have her around, and he thinks she's a goldfish, as everybody does in the beginning of the film, right? Like,
Yes.
and I think like
I love that they call her a goldfish.
yeah,
Just that classic kid thing, though. The little puff bucket.
Yeah,
Where it's
yeah.
like he's guarding that with his life.
yeah.
It's the most important thing in the world.
There's a park in Shanghai near my grandparents' apartment, and when I was really little, I would always go and you can fish
find a
for
fish.
goldfish,
Sure,
and then you
sure,
bring it
sure.
home, and it's that feeling of look at my new friend.
Yes.
And it's and you don't want that fish to ever die, and
No,
you give it
I mean,
a name, and it's
when you get the fish in the bag from
Yeah.
a fair or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, But those were my favorite, and they would all die.
Yeah, they always
Those
die.
are really terrible.
Which is so funny to think of because, to the fish, we are a pretty shapeless blur that's like,
Yeah.
right? Like, they have no idea who
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, but you know what?
fish, Griff?
I won a goldfish when I was a child at a carnival.
The snack that smiles back.
Yes, I won a package of Pepperidge Farm goldfish at a carnival. No, but I won a goldfish in the plastic bag you're talking about. I named
Yes.
it Car because we were in a car when my parents asked me what I wanted to name it. So I said, it's just Car.
How old were you at the time?
What was it, 24?
This was in 2017.
Yeah, right, yeah. So right after I gotten fired off Mullane. I named it Car. And
And your parents weren't like, it wasn't like a Men in Black situation where they were like, go back to the drawing board.
They were so worn down at that point. Are you
Fine,
kidding
it's fucking
me?
Car. Who cares?
They've been my parents for like 6 years. They were like, whatever your fucking thing is this week. I don't know. And I was like so attached to it. And then
it was goldfish.
the next day they were like, it looks weak. We don't have food, this and that. And we
Out of gas.
drove and we put it back in like the river.
Well, that's
And I was like
better than
incredibly
nothing.
sad. I cried about it for like days.
Yeah, but
And
you
then
weren't a sensitive kid or anything.
No,
like that.
not at all. I never loved a fish again.
Fair enough.
I hurt too much.
When
I
you
couldn't
hear the
do it.
word car, you
There's a
flash back
reason
to your days.
I don't have a
You don't like
driver's
your car.
license.
I only had a fish once, same thing, and it died very fast. And it was one of those moments where we like buried it up on like the roof garden. It is a weird thing. We put kids
Yeah,
death,
yeah.
even if it's just a brief pet like that.
You think about existence, yeah, real early.
Yeah, in college, one of my friends had a fish that she kept on her desk. It was not a very big fish, and she called it Alpen, which is a brand of like raisin bran.
Okay.
In Britain, where I fucking went to college and grew up because we never got to that.
What?
Where?
When? Why?
2005-ish, we're talking right now. And she fucking loved it. And she would always talk about how, like, when she was doing work, she could just look up and, like, there he was, right?
Yeah,
Which I guess is the point of a fish.
Yeah.
And then one night, she comes to my room, she's sobbing. Alpen has died.
Oh boy.
And so I like walk back to her room and I'm like, okay, like, here's the fish, looks dead. And I had heard the trick that if you put alcohol on the fish, it can like get it back to life.
What?
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to try something. We'll see. Who knows? And I like scoop it out. I poured vodka on it and it came back to life.
What?
It's crazy.
I'm sorry. What?
Where did you hear that trick from?
Some fucking idiot kid probably said it to me.
Nick Nolte told you. Kid, if I ever pass out, pour alcohol on my skin. Wake back up, will come to life again. That's insane.
Didn't live much longer.
I cannot believe that is true
I think it was
on a scientific, biological level.
I think it was just it's like a fucking, defibrillator.
Yeah.
Or, like it's like just an
It's
insane
the shock of it?
to the system.
Is it any alcohol?
I don't know. I use vodka. I mean, this is all insane.
Okay.
Could you give a goldfish like a Fernet Branca?
Fernet Branca. Fernet Branca. God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Fernet Branca.
Fernet Branca.
But before you give it the Fernet Branca, you have to sob me. I have failed you, master. I won't see another white dog.
Fernet Branca.
Fernet Branca.
I will not bury another member to wait for life.
I'm going on holiday. Fernet Branca.
Have fun with Catwoman.
If you come back, just go to that place. I'll be getting a Fernet Branca. Sorry.
Fernet Branca.
Fernet Branca.
Fernet Branca.
Fernet Branca.
Don't let Bane break your back.
If you do, the only cure is ropes. Many ropes. Do you like The Dark Knight Returns? Ray Rises? Whatever the fuck it's called. Whatever that one is.
Batman Rises.
What if it turns out
Dark
Tenet
Knight
is a
Returns.
fourth Batman movie?
I can't wait. there's a because people keep on saying like, oh, it's like Inception adjacent.
Cool.
And I think they're just saying like, oh, it's like him doing a big original high concept thing.
Right.
But how crazy would it be if it's like, no, it's a dream thing too?
Yeah, it's just about like the guy who invented
Surprise.
the dream thing.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Hey, Cheryl.
What were you talking about?
Ponyo gets revived.
Sasuke. We love Sasuke. We are
love
voting
Sasuke.
for him. And Sasuke.
We stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sasuke has Ponyo.
Mhm. I like that
Ponyo.
you know what I like about Miyazaki's like kids? This is a bit of a tangent. It's just like
Please.
they always take like a couple calls in order to like respond. And that's very kid like, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah. Like Lisa's like Sasuke and he's like and she has to call like 5
Right.
more times and he's like, oh yeah.
Then he has to Trump back up. I also love when the sea
plot.
is trying to reclaim Ponyo, and you see its eyes.
Yeah,
and it
those
kind
were
of goes
terrifying.
like they are scary. And Sosuke just goes like, "That was weird." Anyway,
Right.
you know, it's that like it's just like a Totoro. Like these kids are on that liminal like fantasy reality space where they're just like pretty much anything. They're like, okay, I can roll with that.
Right, like if you're that age and a magical thing happens, you're like, right, I still believe that magic exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, Ponyo's a fish. I love fish. And it's like, hey, turns out Ponyo is a person who loves you. And you're like, great, I love Ponyo.
Well, the thing about this movie though is Lisa.
That's the thing. Lisa is
Lisa
also like,
also
you know what?
Yeah, Lisa's also like, that's chill. That's great. Fine by me.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard for kids to make friends in this town.
Yeah, I will also
Everyone in Japan is old.
Great, I love Ponyo. I can't get over.
Great, I love Ponyo. That is the plot of the movie. The whole plot of the movie is about them falling in love, like in a very childish way.
Yes.
But like they're having this own adventure, and everyone
say
else is like, "But do you think this is like love? Like, what are we talking about?"
You
here?
say childish, but it's pure.
It's pure.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever.
That's
I guess-
exactly it.
Right.
It's like what
That's
you and
the-
Forky have.
What the fuck do I and Forky have? Because you've implied we have like 5 different things. You're like, you'll have to fuck Forky. I take it back. You have a beautiful childlike love for each other.
Relationships are
indescribable.
complicated. They're multifaceted.
Yes.
Right, it's indescribable.
Yeah.
We don't have the term.
Trash.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's transcendent. There's no way.
Looking at you, watching you look at Forky warms my heart.
I watched you look at Forky.
And I watched you look at Forky.
Well, but you were sitting in front of me.
But I
at
kept
the
on
screening.
turning around.
Kept turning around doing this.
I kept on turning around,
Raising
giving
the
David
thumb.
thumbs up and nodding my head. I was taking advice from Will Smith. Every time I liked something on screen, I would nod my head. But I was letting
Nod
David.
your head when you like a thing in the film. I don't know.
I was every time I approved of something in the movie, I would turn around to David and Esther and flash like 2 very like violent thumbs up.
Yeah, which is like every 45 seconds.
Yeah, good. Griffin loves
I
Toy
know.
Story.
It was one of those things where like I barely cared about Toy Story, right? 4 certainly was not that excited.
I would argue you were antagonistic.
And then it just became, you okay?
No.
Okay. It just became a thing where you were, I was just like, we just got to get Griffin in. We got to get him into this fucking thing. Like it became like a
Can we say
a
how it
fucking
happened?
heist movie into
Right.
itself.
Because you asked for
do
a
it.
+1, they didn't give it to
Which
you.
is fine. Disney rarely gives me +1s.
I reviewed the
Did
movie.
he give you one for Toy Story 4?
So many people bring like 4 kids.
That's what we
You know
realized
what I
when we
mean?
got in
I
there.
had a +1.
Well, you're in
Whoa.
LA. I don't know. I'm talking about New York City.
What's that?
All right.
This was a star-studded screening. Lights, Camera, Jackson,
He was
host
there.
of the Back to You podcast, was there. Sandy Kenyon,
That's
Oh.
he's always there.
Neil Rosen, he of the New York One, Wormy Appy Wormy Appy
Wormy happy
Yeah. No, he gives movies a series of apples to rate it.
or a wormy happy.
Or a wormy apple. My favorite film critic. But David asked for +1.
Ben Hosley number 1, the wormy apple guy number 2.
Our second finest film
Wormy
critic. A wormy appy. You asked for +1. No go.
No go. And I was like, fine. I didn't. I knew it was a tenuous ask.
I'm reviewing the movie for Film Spotting. The
Right.
Film Spotting people reach out to
They're trying to
Disney.
get you in.
And they're like, we got you a +1 to the screening of Chicago. And I was like, am I going to take a fucking plane to see Toy Story 4 early? I was about to. I
You
was
were thinking
looking
about
up
it. You were thinking about it.
flight rates, right? And then we're recording an episode. I'm losing my mind knowing that David's going to go see it without me.
Right.
Ooh.
I almost just felt guilty. I was like, this just seems wrong.
Right. And
Even though it
Ehrlich,
is my job, and I had to see it for embargo.
right.
But yes.
And Ehrlich was like, I asked for a +1 and they never got back to me.
Right, so we
I
could-
can play oblivious. Like I assume I got my +1 and we show up with you there. And my thought is 50-50 chance they just let you in.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Right.
So I went uptown.
This is after I had been lobbying everyone to try and
I
find
know,
you a +1.
everyone.
Yeah.
Went uptown, was like 2 blocks away to be like, okay, I'm just waiting for Ehrlich to get here. Ehrlich wasn't going to get there until like 10 minutes before the movie started. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's going to be like tight, especially people bringing like 6 kids.
Yeah.
And it's just about capacity and they don't have like an overflow room or whatever. And I'm like 2 blocks away. I'm getting a sandwich. I'm online. And Lawson just texts me. He goes, oh, I have an extra ticket for Toy
Well,
Story.
here's what happened.
Yes.
I sat down next to Richard, as I often do, or Mark Whitewood, and he was like, because I knew he'd had a +1, but it was taken.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, my +1 actually canceled. And I was like, text Griffin Newman now.
Yeah.
Like now.
A rogue
And he-
+1 over here.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, but is he, I mean, could he get here in time? And I'm like, he's here.
Yeah.
He's here.
He's casing the joint.
Exactly.
He's got a sandwich and he's here.
I was looking for vulnerabilities. I was scouting out, like, is there a fire escape? Is there a way into the theater?
You were like in a garbage can, like kind of walking around.
Yeah.
Every 5 steps. You were being.
I was being a sneaky boy. I was prepared. I was like losing my mind. I was like, if David sees this before I do, I will be equally upset if he loves it or hates it.
Right.
I need to have.
I
need to form an impression the exact same moment David does. and old Dickie Lawson came through.
Got you in there.
Walked those 2 blocks. Met me in the lobby of the theater with a little Toy Story ticket.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep. And you saw it.
You ate mac and cheese bites?
I did. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
How many times more will you see it?
I have tickets to see it tomorrow night.
At
the time we're recording this, opening night. Seeing it opening night with TC14.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you this, okay? This summer has been weak for movies.
Yeah.
I also have been very depressed in the wake of the Ticks cancellation.
Sorry to hear about it.
I think I'm going to see it too many times. I think this movie is really going to function as a solve for me this summer.
Right.
Because I believe I saw...
Oh, fuck. What's he about to say?
I believe I saw 10 times in theaters.
10?
I believe I saw it 10 times. And that's my least favorite of the franchise.
I think the one I've seen the most, like a movie I've seen, like I think 4 is the most I've ever seen a movie in a theater.
Yeah.
What about you, Cheryl? You're thinking?
I think 3.
3.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the worst here.
Toy Story 3 I fully saw one time.
Wally I saw 6 or 7 times.
I saw Beach Bum a bunch, but I was fucked up every time, so it really just counts as once.
You probably accounted for like 3/4 of its sale.
I like the idea that Ben would get stoned, decide to go see Beach Bum, and then realize 20 minutes in, I think I've seen this already. And that repeated itself 10 times.
Yeah.
Hey, Shirley.
Hey, what's up?
Ponyo. That's what's up. We're getting back.
All we've done is get to the house.
You let the dog off the leash. What can you say? He's running around.
We're only at
Vroom,
the
vroom.
halfway mark.
Oh crap! She
fine.
drives
It's a
senior
plot-light
home.
movie.
That's true, but there's
Well,
we should
right.
get
There's
through
the
the plot.
little thing with like where Sosuke's his annoying friends who are like
Oh yeah,
bugging him about his fish.
yeah. What's your goldfish? So yeah.
Those aren't his real friends. His real friends are old
Ponyo
ladies.
just has the one trick, which is the
Yeah,
spit in
the
water on
spitting.
you.
Mm-hmm.
The one line that his annoying friend has. Well, what is it? It's like you're 5. You have no job. It's like I can't remember what it is.
Right. Because he
It's a
keeps
good
being like,
one.
I'm busy.
Yeah,
Like that's so Sosuke's like, I can't talk to you right now. I can't play right now. I'm busy.
Right.
yeah.
But he is busy.
Mm-hmm.
But then Ponyo gets taken away.
I
Yeah.
love him hiding Ponyo when he goes to school. That
Yes,
he
in
puts
the
the
little
bucket
bushes.
underneath the tree and puts a
bushes.
leaf on top of the bucket.
And he's like, these bushes aren't even part of the school.
Yeah.
But then Ponyo gets taken away, right?
Yeah.
Fujimoto, there's
Are you
that.
saying Ponyo gets taken?
I have a particular watering can.
Yeah.
Because there's that early.
stolen
my
fish.
I like the Tina Fey clocks. Jesus, Lisa. I didn't even watch the dub. The Lisa clocks
Yeah.
Fujimoto.
Yeah.
And it's like,
There's no weed killer here.
this is 80% a pedophile, 20% a rogue
Right.
gardener.
Right, because she goes, stop killing my weeds, and his answer that's supposed to diffuse the
He's
situation
like, not
is,
at all. What are you talking about?
I'm using water to...
Or else I will dry out on
Yeah,
land.
right? Isn't that what he says? I'm trying to humidify myself.
Yes, he's talking about humidifying himself.
Yeah.
Trying to humidify me.
He's such a sight. I just love seeing him with
Yes.
his insane watering
Yes.
can. He's like these weird, like bow-legged walk.
I mean, great
The
Halloween
sound is
costume.
also
Yeah.
If someone could nail a Fujimoto, I'd be
Yeah.
all for it.
I love a disheveled wizard. I love a wizard that's just like kind of a mess. He's like can't really present himself socially. That's
Yeah.
like my kind of wizard.
Yes.
I don't like a sophisticated wizard.
Like a put together wizard with like everything, like all his ducks in a row. Like you like
I
the
want an
Fujimoto
introvert.
type. Yeah.
Well, because the
yeah,
thing is,
yeah.
like, he dresses well, but he's got like sort of the sunken cheeks and eyeballs. He looks kind of
Yes.
tired.
he's working. He's got to pour them elixirs.
He also kind of looks like a David Bowie phase. I mean,
Yes.
there's
A
like the
little bit,
blue
yeah.
eyeshadow around the
Yeah.
eye. There's
I
something
mean,
very glam rock.
He's a
about
bit like Steve Buscemi.
like here's like a fan art of him.
Yeah.
where
Oh,
he's
that's
hot.
too sleek. I
No,
don't
that's what
like
I'm saying,
it.
but like that's
Yeah.
what I imagine. Like,
But even like this,
the-
like it looks like Tilda Swinton, right?
Swinton. Oh God, Swinton would nail this live action Ponyo.
Yes.
But you know, that's like who you imagine the sea witch being like. Sure, I'll make fish babies with you.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, look at like the blush and the like contouring on the
yeah.
nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a pointy nose.
I mean, yeah.
And then just
He's got some male model.
what is more inspiring than this image?
Describe the image to our listeners.
Yeah, Ponyo. So Ponyo gets captured. We can get to the plot point of this actually. And Fujimoto's like, "You go in here," like he's like, "You can't live on the surface world." And she escapes with the help of her little fish sisters. And then she grows herself like a chicken body and a little those puffy little sort of pants that babies wear in Japanese movies. But
I know what you're talking about.
They all have that outfit.
Yeah.
I assume it's just
the
sort of
little
the
girls
young
in
child
Totoro.
outfit. Right, exactly. It's almost like a petticoat.
Yes.
And she, blasts her way to the surface. She causes a tsunami.
Well, she there's that little bit with Fujimoto where he's like, "This is where my best magic is," and she busts that open.
Yeah, so all kinds of bullshit's happening.
And I kind of like they don't touch on it too much, but the rules of his job and how he is sort of instrumental in the mechanics of the ocean.
Yeah.
In some interesting way, on some magical chemical sort of level.
Yeah.
But also that he's this overprotective helicopter parent that comes out of love, but he doesn't know how to express it well. And what you were saying about David's just smiling because it's a picture of Ponyo skipping on the seas. I've never seen you this happy.
Greater?
I love her.
This movie and Master and Commander, which are both movies about the sea, are the two movies that I will play when I'm in a bad mood.
Master and Commander and Ponyo.
Yeah,
when I'm in a serious funk, I put them on and it solves
At the same time.
That would be weird.
Yeah. You sync them up. No, I was going to say there's something to the fact that it's that, this movie is kind of a love story and the dad is so overprotective about no boys.
Right.
No human boys.
But the cool thing about that is it's not just no human boys. It's actually there is a really big responsibility that I have as an adult sea wizard. And I need this is I'm not trying to prevent you from doing what you want to do, but actually I have a job here.
But I think that's the thing that Miyazaki's kind of into is just so much of antagonistic behavior that parents throw upon their children is them not knowing how to express their genuine, well-founded concern.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
If she weren't his daughter, he wouldn't care this much.
And Miyazaki, who by all accounts is a bit of a stern parent himself, he's made this movie about how children are unpredictable and uncontainable and so full of life and
little chicken arms.
Exactly. You kind of got to pull Lisa and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Because when Ponyo, there's the big tsunami and I love that the unspoken thing in this movie is that Lisa is the worst or best driver of all time or maybe both.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of knows that she's a maniac.
Yeah.
And the thing where she after Ponyo gets taken and Sosuke is just sitting there and he looks all sad and he's got his big ice cream. And she's just it's okay, Sosuke, it happens. He's just yeah. She's like, can I have some ice cream? And he's like, yeah. And she leans over while not looking at the road and takes half the ice cream with her fucking tongue.
Driving by the cliff.
It's insane. They see the tsunami. They see Ponyo just running.
Yes.
She running.
Right.
She's running.
Well, because once she's captured and they realize that she's tasted human blood, she tells her father how much she wants to be on Earth, how much she wants to be a human. She wants to have arms and legs, and so she wills herself into evolving. And then she becomes she goes from becoming a chicken girl to a real girl.
Correct.
Fish girl to chicken girl.
Yeah.
To a real girl.
Her little chicken legs.
I love the chicken state.
So
when her head is still sort of just like a blob. She
it's
looks
like a blob with the eyes and a mouth.
And the mouth is humongous.
Right.
She looks like not a cuttlefish. What's that thing that everyone always memes?
A blobfish.
Yes.
You talking about a blobfish?
The blobfish or the...
The fish that looks like an old Jewish man's face. You know which thing I'm talking about.
I do. I just want to show you the image.
Yeah. That thing.
Right.
No, what about the one that the Pokemon Mudkip is based on? What is it called? Axolotl? I just said a word that I'm not sure.
Pretty impressive.
It's one of those things where it immediately autofilled when I typed AX, and I'm like, these fucking things listen to us.
See, look!
Oh, yes. No, that's exactly what she looks like. That's what her face looks like.
Here is Mudkip, to be clear.
Yes.
That's exactly what she
My
looks
fave.
like, and I like that she's got little chicken arms and legs.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I had to rewind it and go through. I was like, wait, when did the transformation happen? And it's kind of crazy how gracefully it's done.
Yes.
Because she's got the chicken arms and legs, and she's running, and then she's got this bucket, and she puts the bucket on her head, and the transformation happens there.
Yeah.
It's not like they hide the transformation with her arms, but it's also not like they animate it in a way where you're like seeing the evolution. She looks so.
Wait,
I
let me
was
see
like,
it.
And then she'll go back to chicken if she does magic. She kind of like
does when she's
loses
running on
her
the water.
shape a little bit.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed she didn't stay in Chicken Stay for longer.
But I mean, it's kind of crucial.
It's so much fun.
Right. This is her with the bug, where she's about to sort of like complete the transformation. Then when Sosuke sees her in this new form, he still knows like it's Ponyo.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my fish.
Yeah.
And rather than like ask some questions, he's just like, "You're a baby now."
I get it.
Yeah, you're like me.
Yeah.
She's baby.
Yeah.
And he already knew that she likes ham because she ate the ham out of his bucket.
He gave her a little piece of bread.
Wild.
Wasn't interested. She went, no.
Yeah.
And he said, what about ham? And she went, cool, I'll take the rest. I'll take the whole slice. And she slurps it like some disgusting ham monster.
Hell yeah. And Lisa, there's like a power outage, and then it's just like that Miyazaki thing that no other fucking animated movie does, where it's just like every bit of business is interesting to a child. Children like doing little jobs.
Yeah.
And every little touch that he puts into that entire sequence, I love. Like, she takes the light and just holds it on her head.
I fucking love that cool little like remote outlet light.
The fact that she
that thing.
bounces all over and she hits the glass door. Like, there's all these little mistakes.
Yeah.
But they feel so organic, and it's just, it is how a fish girl would react to her new surroundings.
But also children love doing that. As you said, they love mirroring the things that adults do that seem banal.
They get into the fantasy stuff later, but like I have a lot of friends who have kids now, and like the first things they want to do is like pretend to cook, pretend to clean, pretend to like have a little baby, right?
You know what I just remembered about, which I'm like, wow, that is perplexing. Do you remember, I don't know if these still exist, but they would sell like those like toy shaving kits so that like a child could shave along with their father.
Daddy, right.
And it was like fake shaving cream.
Sounds fun.
And then like a plastic razor that was like completely dull.
Right.
Okay.
But so that you could put cream on your face and then
Wipe it
like go
off.
through the sensation of it disappearing.
Cool.
And I always would see that at like the drugstore and ask my parents, and they'd be like, yeah, it doesn't do anything. And I'd be
parents are
like,
so
what are they
practical.
trying to shave? I'd be like, nothing. I don't know.
How do you think Car is doing right now?
Oh boy. I hope he's like the Ponyo of that.
Yeah,
like
right.
he's like just
He
like
became
owning it.
like the biggest goldfish in the Hudson River or
Yeah,
whatever.
that he's like the mayor of the Hudson River. No, I was just gonna say though, that's like this like task that like grown-ups view as like a fucking nuisance and this like messy, annoying, largely painful thing to do.
Right.
And kids are like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I remember Romilly when she was little, my sister would always want to watch me gargle mouthwash.
Wow.
She thought it was so funny.
It is kind of funny.
And she wasn't even
Funny
like laughing that
noise.
much. She would like be like, you have to tell me.
when you're going to do
She
it.
didn't care about brushing teeth because she did that.
She does that, and that's
Okay.
annoying.
But the mouthwash.
Right.
You're a little kid. You're like, ugh.
Right,
Yeah.
but when I was
What
like
a
15
task.
and I would do the full like
Right.
like in each cheek.
That's another level. Yeah.
Right. Anything
Yeah.
like that. And so like this thing of just like, okay, the power's out. You kids need to step up. We got things to do.
Yeah.
And them trying their hardest to do sort of like basic grown-up tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes helping.
No, yeah. I think what's interesting about this, I remember reading when they did test screenings of this, I don't know if it's true, but when they did test screenings of this, I think Miyazaki was kind of surprised that the kids weren't really responding to it with a lot of enthusiasm, and they were more just like engrossed by it.
Right.
And I wonder if it's because they were like, oh, that's me.
Sure.
Right. They're just
Sure.
watching carefully.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly when I watch a
And it's
movie
not
with a little
flashy.
kid, they are quiet. They just
Yeah.
watch like they're watching the most incredible thing in the world. They're just very quiet and very like transfixed. Right? I mean,
Sure.
I don't know a lot of kids who are like sort of shouting things out and like.
I feel like that when that happens, the kid doesn't like
They're
the movie
bored.
that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I was yelling about the big fish a lot when I watched.
Oh sure,
I
just,
just kept being like, big fish.
Yeah.
medium fish.
That is what it's like
Red
to watch
fish,
a movie
blue
with Ben. He calls out things a lot. Did I tell you when I saw Apollo 11, there was a dad and like a kid, like a 5 or 6 year old kid sitting next to me.
Did he lean over and say, that's Apollo 11?
He asked it.
That's the American space program.
He said, is that Apollo 11? Which number is that? Every single thing was a question.
Sure.
And that's a movie that doesn't have like talking heads or narration or any of that.
Right.
So when they go like, the eagle has landed, he'd be like, where's the eagle?
There's a bird on this moon
He just
now?
kept on asking very like hurt questions. And the dad would be like, shh, shh. He's an astronaut.
America's going to space.
Yeah.
What's happening now? The space program continues.
Right.
Space.
But it was like if they used any code word, he'd want a definition.
Right.
He'd want explanation of what was going on at every
Fair
moment.
question.
Yeah.
Eagle has landed. I don't see an eagle.
Yeah.
I see a weird boxy thing.
Is that Apollo 11? Is that Apollo
Well, then
11?
redefine what you think of it. You know
Yeah.
what an
Fine.
eagle is.
Is he an astronaut? Where's the moon? Is that the moon?
Houston? Don't you mean Houston?
Yeah.
That's a real New Yorker kid.
That's a New Yorker kid.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't know. Kathy, I used to have to take Kathy to go see movies while my parents.
That's your little sister. To be clear.
Yeah, sorry, Kathy, my little sister. We are 10 years apart, and I used to have to go like
you were
take
the
her.
designated. Right.
Yeah, and she actually like when I'm thinking back on it, like this was the last movie we saw together before I went off to college.
Wow.
But growing up, I remember taking her to some adjacent theater while my parents went to go see like a legit adult movie, and she was actually really fussy for most of those. And I don't know if I think she might have either been bored or she was just kind of like this.
I
None
don't
of
know
this
what to
matters
respond
to
in
me.
this. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's something special about Ponyo.
Ponyo rules.
Mhm.
They get some ramen.
Mm-hmm.
As
I
with
like
so
this scene a lot.
They
many
make
Miyazaki
them.
movies. Exactly right. It's like a process.
Mhm.
Put in your noodles. Wait.
Yeah, and the hot
3
water.
minutes.
Mhm.
The hot water. It's
Mhm.
hot. Close your eyes. Don't pee.
Hot ham water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's a ham and there's an egg.
I know.
But it's a fairly unobtrusive egg.
I was
That's-
watching this scene between fingers. I was kind of sneaking
Right. You're
peeks
sort of
to
like
see if it was
trying to. Yeah.
coast was clear. I do love ramen. I just get my ramen without ham or egg.
Oh, you don't like ham either?
We
talked
I'll
about
do pork
this.
ramen sometimes. I prefer chicken ramen. I definitely go no egg, but I eat ramen.
But I mean, like-
multiple
Do
times a
tonkatsu?
week now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fucking image.
I mean, look at those scallions.
Good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The scallions are really that gets me going.
And the thing is, like every frame of this movie, I mean, there's always something undulating, right? Like looking at the steam there, looks good.
It feels safe. It feels
Hungry.
homey.
Yeah,
It's
cozy.
Yeah.
You know, outside there's a tsunami.
Like
Yes.
there's a
this movie-
storm.
That too, when you're
Yeah.
a kid and you're like, I know that something bad is happening, but like it's okay because I'm at home, my mom's here, and it's like it's going okay, it's
Yeah.
fine, it's
the
fine.
comfort
Yeah.
food, the process, your parents making you feel better and giving you food that
Yeah.
it brought me back to that.
Yeah, you have a new fish girlfriend, and it's everything's lovely.
And there's something about like hot soup like that too. Like I always think about like when it's cold outside, when I'm sick, when I want that comfort late at night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sosuke loves Ponyo. Ponyo loves ham.
Mhm.
Ponyo says ham like 50
Therefore,
million
Sosuke
times
loves
in this
ham.
scene.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. It's very ham focused.
Ponyo falls asleep.
She's
And that's
tired.
So cute.
In the classic, there's that cut to her being like, she's like got the ramen noodle,
Yeah.
like but she's just like,
Yeah.
Which is another classic kid thing where you're like, it's time to sleep, but as you're a kid and you're
Yeah.
like,
You're trying
"Well,
so hard.
I want to stay up. I mean, it's
Right.
been a good day.
And then instantaneously, there's a moment where you just shut off. How many times have you seen this movie, do you think?
It's at least 10. A
Wow.
lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to watch it on cable a lot, as I
Yeah.
said, and then I just bought it on Blu-ray. Like,
Yeah.
I bit the bullet.
Retired bit.
I have always had, anytime I've had a partner, a person in my life, they have agreed with me on Ponyo.
Uh-huh.
So Forky
And-
likes Ponyo.
Forky loves
And so, like, they would be happy to watch it with me, but maybe I'd watch it by myself. It's certainly a Miyazaki movie I've seen the most. But again,
Okay.
it's just because it is just such
It's
an
comfort
instant
food.
comfort food
Yeah.
movie. Like, it's so, and even though this movie came out when I was fully an adult, grown up, like,
Yeah.
it's not like I have a childhood nostalgia for this movie,
Sure.
but it doesn't matter.
Sure.
I have a 20-something nostalgia for this movie.
That's allowed.
I know. Thank you. Thank you, Shirley.
You're welcome.
David.
Yeah.
When I talk to listeners of our show,
Sure.
Blankies,
Yep. The fans.
there's one question I get more than any other.
Okay.
You know, because people come up and they go, when are you going to do this, director? You know? How do you feel about this? What's your take on this movie? You know?
I do know.
What's
People like
Ben
our
really
movie podcast.
like?
Sure. Weird.
Is he real? Right?
Maybe. TBD.
The number one question I get from listeners of Blank Check is, where can I find more stylish and affordable medical scrubs?
They ask you that all the time?
On the street.
Okay.
I cannot make it through a block of walking. Not one block without someone grabbing me by the lapels and going, oh, God, this scrub is just itching me.
So they haven't heard of Figs.
They haven't heard of Figs.
Okay, well, Figs is an amazing company. They're making scrubs, like you mentioned, but they're stylish and functional for the people who deserve it the most.
They're like the Zach Braff of scrubs.
Mm.
In that they're in the lead. They're at the forefront.
Just feels like such an obvious well to go to.
Okay, well, go on.
No, they've got, because scrubs, nurses and doctors and dentists and medical professionals, they got to wear these things.
And very often they're like, I don't
sterile
want
clothes,
no scrubs.
Right?
You stepped on my joke, but very often, the thing they say is, I don't want no scrubs. I'm going to restate it cleanly. And then Figs is the scrubs that can get some love.
Yeah, because they're creating the highest quality medical apparel.
Of course.
So medical professionals can look their best, they can feel their best, perform at their best every day. The Figs, the scrubs, they're antimicrobial, so they protect you from germs and bacteria. They're very soft. They're moisture wicking, so, if you're sweating in them, it's no big deal.
And trust me, you're going to be sweating some scrubs. It's not a walk in the park, that job.
And, they're made with yoga waistbands. They've got a variety of styles. You can get a straight leg, you can get a jogger, you can get a skinny style. And every time you shop at Figs, they give scrubs to healthcare providers in need around the world. It's called a Threads for Threads initiative.
It's a very ethical episode.
They have donated hundreds of thousands of sets of scrubs in over 35 countries.
David, the Venn diagram between listeners of Blank Check and people who need new stylish scrubs is a perfect circle. This is the first time we have advertised a product that appeals to 100% of our listener base.
I got the Figs. I got the scrubs.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a medical professional, but
you could have fooled me.
One, kind of cool to put on scrubs and sort of look at yourself in the mirror and be like,
you look great.
I'm a doctor man.
You look great in them right now.
They're comfortable.
Yeah. They can sort of double as loungewear.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Pajamas, perhaps.
Basically, they're really comfortable. So, whether you're one of the awesome humans who works in healthcare or someone that wants to say thanks to those deserving folks, Figs is going to make that easy by providing you with 15% off your first purchase by using the code CHECK. You're talking over the call to action, Ben.
I got it.
Get ready to love your scrubs.
I need a Dr. Figs.
Head to wearfigs.com. That's WEARFIGS.com. And enter our code CHECK at checkout. You're going to get 15% off your first purchase.
I need some Figs.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, so we're in the comforting section of the movie before the anxiety settles in.
Right. But then we do cut to the boat where Sosuke's dad is, and they talk about the goddess of mercy.
Koichi.
There's already been
Koichi.
this thing that he was supposed to come home, and then
There's
That's the best.
the great,
Yes.
light conversation they have where she spells out jerk.
She spells out bug off.
Yeah, right.
She goes bug off, bug off, bug off.
Yes. Yeah. Which for some reason, because in the American one, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And then to speak to how occupations always come up in these films,
Yeah.
I feel like you get a lot of sort of insight into the mariner's life.
Well, and the Miyazaki thing of like, you have a trade, you're very committed to that trade, and if you give so much to that trade that there isn't enough to fully be there for your family, so be it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. 100%.
Right. That's sort of like the curse of like the father figure.
Right.
Yeah, it's like he's too on the job. He can't quit it. Whether he's an evil sea wizard
or just
a human
merchant
boatsman.
mariner. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff going on, such as the moon is falling out of the sky. There are a couple things that are a little weird.
MBD.
So it's basically like, Fujimoto is like reality is out of balance because of what's going on. And so Goddess of Mercy shows up and she's like, don't worry about it. As long as she passes the test, it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No seafoam.
And Fujimoto's like, but yeah, if she fails, she seafoam.
That's the fear. Is they go like, the real risk here is that now they're tied into this whole love game. They're tied to each other and the stakes have become higher.
Right.
Because she's going to want to stay with him.
But I just love that the two plot lines are parallel. Like, it's not like someone immediately goes to Sosuke and Ponyo and says, like, so you guys better fucking pass this test.
Yeah.
We're just watching them have a cute adventure.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And then at the end, someone's like, so do you love each other? And they're like, Yes.
Very good question.
Because we're cutting back to Sosuke and Ponyo.
Yeah.
They're like, the mom is out of the fucking old folks' home.
Yeah.
And Sosuke's like, I want to go down there. And so she makes his toy boat big.
Yeah. Well, that's the sequence where like you see the town underwater.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
That's beautiful
Oh,
when they
cool.
wake up and they're
Yes.
like the fish swimming by their door.
And it's like
Yeah.
ancient fish.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
didn't
crazy
bother to Google if those are actual fish.
I assume it's one of those
From
things that they like.
the
Yeah.
eras.
It's a pop boat, the little candle boat,
Oh, sure.
which like makes steam. Like, have you never
Uh-huh.
seen one of those?
No.
Those are real.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a
Huh.
very old fashioned kind of toy
What, a
boat.
pop boat?
Yeah. And it like,
And I
because-
love the sound of that.
exactly. Because when you light a little candle, it makes just enough steam to sort of go like, boop.
Wow.
And so now the boat is giant. So they have a giant fucking candle.
Yeah.
It fucking rules.
I like that he takes the time to explain how the boat works.
Yes.
And how like the ramen works and all these little
Yeah, exactly.
details. And
Right.
you're like, I love
Yes.
it.
He packs a
Yeah.
little
Me.
lunch. For them.
Yes.
Sosuke! What were you going to say, Greg?
No, that's the kind of leadership we need right now in America. I want a president who packs a little lunch for me. A little lunch before I have my big adventure.
And they have all these cute, like they meet the baby.
Yes.
They have these
Meet
cute little
baby.
adventures, but then Ponyo tires herself out doing magic.
Yes.
It is that thing too, where like little kids, like kids under 5, view babies as a different species.
Yes.
But they really want to go out of their way to show that they're good
Different.
with babies.
Oh, they're good
Yeah.
with babies, but
Like
they're
I'm a big
different.
kid, but I remember when I used to be really little, and I
Right.
want to be nice to this baby.
Most babies I've met, if I have, like, they're like toddlers, whatever,
Yeah.
right? If I have a picture of them as a younger baby,
Mhm.
and I'm like, do you want to see on my phone, like, I have a picture of you as a baby?
Yeah.
They're like, yes. But then I show them, they're like, that's not me. You know, they're always just like, whatever.
Unimpressed.
If you say so.
Get out of here.
They can't quite make the leap of like, there I am as a baby.
Yeah, no, they're like, that's a deep fake.
Yeah, it's
That's Steve Buscemi.
crazy. What are you talking about? No, I'm not like that.
So that scene with the baby, I think, so he wrote that after he couldn't figure out. I'm trying to give some context.
Hey,
and I
we're
think
connoisseurs.
yes, I believe I had heard a little rumor. So I think he was having trouble figuring out how to end the movie.
Okay.
And he needed to make sure that Ponyo kind of displayed that she liked humans, right? And
That
she was
would want to
Yeah.
say.
Yes,
Sure.
right.
yeah.
Because her
So-
Sosuke is really her only target
Yeah.
for a while, right? It's
Right.
her only point of interest.
And
right.
here she's like, "Oh, this baby's unhappy. Like, let's figure something out."
Right.
Yeah.
Ponyo is a problem solver. And in return, she only wants ham.
The transaction is ham and
Will work for ham.
whatever.
100%.
Can I ask, have you and Forky ever considered adopting Ponyo? I know you already have a Navi baby.
We do. That's never growing.
No.
It's just a paternal baby.
Look at this family I foisted upon you. You're married to Forky. You have a Navi child.
collection of junk.
I mean, that's a modern family, right?
That's a very modern family.
yeah.
Bam, bam,
Good challenging societal norms. A spork, a man,
You mentioned
Navi.
Ty
I
Burrell
had a point
earlier.
to
You
make
gotta
about
bring
the
it back.
movie that has nothing to do with the bullshit we're talking about right now. Forky.
Forky.
No, not Forky. Jesus. Ponyo.
Forky's on his mind.
Ponyo. What were we just
Forky's
talking
all
about?
We were
Candle to
talking
make the
about
ship
baby.
big.
That thing's great.
We were talking about baby.
Baby.
Baby Ponyo.
Maybe it'll come back to
deep
Well-
fakes.
oh no, right. It's the moment where when they're like, Ponyo, so what's your deal? And she's like, oh, my daddy's the worst. He imprisons me. And they're like, all right. What about your mom? And she's like, she's the best. She's a scary wizard. Or like, what did she say?
She said she's big and
She's-
beautiful.
Yeah, right.
And then
I love that.
that's when I perked up and I was like,
Ben was like,
Is she
That was
single?
big. I love it. Beautiful. Love it.
right. She's big and beautiful.
Birth to Ponyo.
Wait, what is and yeah, and at one point Sosuke is like talking to his mom or to his friend or someone where he's like,
There's not that many characters.
she loves ham and she can do magic. Is
Right.
the way
Oh,
he
yeah.
describes Ponyo.
Isn't that explained to the baby's mom?
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
it. Right. Because it's when Ponyo gets
Very
real sick.
confusing. Tina Fey in the movie doesn't play the baby mama. Very confusing. I was confused.
Confused. What's the deal with Ponyo?
I've seen this movie before. She's the baby mama. No, see, Phil, she's got a baby. What's she
Not Tina Fey. Who makes these decisions?
What a weird guy.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. Have you ever seen him live? My friend went recently and said like it's fun.
I had
5 stars.
Yeah, thank you.
I was part of a sports themed sketch comedy talk show.
I believe you told me this, right? Yes.
Where they were like, "Hey, so have you heard the change in running order?" I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Jerry Seinfeld decided to drop in and do a set because it was at Gotham Comedy Club, but it was not a stand-up show.
Right.
It was like a Quiz Daddy hosted it. Scott Rogowski, Quiz Daddy. It was like a fake sports talk show with a lot of characters and bits and shit. And he interviewed some like actual former players. But in the middle of the show, they just had to cede the stage to Jerry Seinfeld, who wanted to work out his Letterman sets.
Sure.
And they were like, "You're following Letterman." And
you're following
Seinfeld. Sorry. So Seinfeld came up and just did like 12 immaculate minutes.
Of course.
Like it was perfect.
Right.
I was standing in the back with a bunch of other comedians, and we were just like, "That's like, wow,
there it
that's
is.
Like, that's
there
it.
It is.
That's it.
The
Like I
man's a
can't even
machine. Right.
whether or not I find this funny. That is the perfect way to do this."
Right.
And then he went. He finished. He was like, "Do I have anything else?" And he took the folded paper out of his pocket, and he looked at it, and he was like, "No, I think that's everything. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions?" And someone said, "What do you think about hockey?" Because it was a sports crowd. And he goes, "Here's my theory on hockey. There is no puck." And then he just walked off stage.
What?
And then I had to come on stage and do a sketch in which the premise was, you know about how there's like a boy raised by wolves? This is a boy raised by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Sounds good.
There's actually what do they call those things in westerns? The tumbleweed.
Yeah,
Tumbleweed. Just
Not
rolled
sketch.
in here.
Not sketch I wrote.
Oh, is that why you were arrested? I'm seeing here for crimes against humanity.
Hey, I didn't write the sketch. Okay.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. It seems like you were rounded up by Interpol for doing that sketch.
All I'm saying is,
Black International got involved.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Weird.
Okay,
I thought that was
yeah.
a movie franchise.
all I'm saying is the audience
Heads did not nod.
The heads did not nod.
Shake your heads.
The audience weirdly seemed a little less excited about what I
Wait,
was doing.
what? What a rude audience.
A little bit less excited.
They should have been like, oh, oh, oh. Hey, I brought it back. Then Sosuke and Ponyo encounter.
No. She gets tired again.
Yeah, she gets tired because she does more magic trying to light the candle.
Yeah, and she the boat gets a little smaller. You know, it was like
Which
pop,
is
pop, and now it's like
fucking
pop,
great.
pop.
And yeah. And then they go down to the nursing home, which is like shielded.
Right.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the old ladies, but that's okay.
Well, the old ladies are just cute.
They're cute with like one who's like particularly belligerent.
Yes, who I believe is based on Miyazaki's mother.
Yes.
That's the one in the electric wheelchair.
Yes,
Yeah.
who I believe is voiced by Lily Tomlin in
Right.
the dub.
Yeah.
We've
And then
also got
it's
Cloris
Betty
Leachman
White.
and Betty White.
Yeah.
Murders.
Her name is Toki.
Yes, Toki is the one that is Miyazaki's mommy.
Yeah, and then Matt Damon's the dad, which is pretty nuts.
Right, because it's only like the dad only has like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever, he just knocks that shit out.
The billing's very weird on the American dub.
Is it? Let me find it.
Because I think Noah Cyrus is first billed.
Which makes sense.
It's Ponyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's
Titular
like
Ponyo.
No, she's not first billed. I think it might be fully. I
Kate
think it's
Blanchett.
alphabetical.
Is it really?
Kate
Oh.
Blanchett, Noah Cyrus, Matt
Okay.
Damon, Tina Fey, Frankie Jonas,
Frankie bonus.
Cloris Leachman,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson's just
Liam
not
Neeson,
included.
Lily Tomlin, Billy White, Betty White.
Tell you what, we're on.
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah, so that
dad
is alphabetical.
the
Yeah.
dad is there for what we were talking about before,
Mhm.
but also then you get that incredible shot of all of the ships on that wave
Yes.
under the moon. And
Yes.
that's just a great, that's just,
Okay, Ben just looked at his phone and then gave me the biggest shit-eating grin. So something. He's just looking at Ponyo, I guess.
it's Ponyo
Yeah, she's
eating
eating
ham.
her ham. It's just fun.
This all day.
It's just fun when the ham is the size of her. You know, when she's still in goldfish mode, so
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
basically the size of a slice of ham.
I thought Ben was prepping some dumb bit, but in fact, he's literally just rewatching images
The
from the
film
movie
we're
we're
discussing.
talking.
But she eats the entire ham in like one bite,
I
like
know, it
right
rules.
after that, right? It's the best
great.
thing. But she doesn't turn.
Ben's looking at even more.
That one's good too.
So
That's sort of
good.
like action Ponyo when she's like zipping up to the
Oh,
ocean.
I love action
To the,
Ponyo.
yeah.
I want a Ponyo action figure. Yeah. But she doesn't turn into like, you know,
Well, eBay search the same.
Ponyo toy.
yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Shirley? She
Oh
hasn't.
no,
turned
just
into-
she. Yeah, when she eats the ham,
Mhm.
it's the size of her, but her, her size doesn't change. She doesn't do the like the animated gag.
Oh,
when like Tom and
snake
Jerry
eats like something and it you can see the shape.
You
of
know
it.
when Jerry eats like an entire, not Seinfeld,
right.
Jerry the mouse eats an entire block of cheese and he turns into little cheese.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things.
It's funny. You can
Anyway,
buy a
she
little
doesn't do
plush
that.
Ponyo.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
That wasn't an important data point. Where are we now? Oh, she's
Basically
small.
at the end,
She's tired.
it's when the mommy.
Oh, they bring her there.
You can get a keychain of Ponyo in the bucket.
That's
A
pretty
little
cool.
bucket keychain. With her
Bucket.
little face looking up at you.
Bucket.
A little bucket.
I
Ponyo in
love
a bucket.
The mom sort of invites Lisa over, has a chat with her, and then asks Sosuke, like,
They have a
you
yeah.
know,
The
do you
moms
love-
talk.
do you
Yeah.
love Ponyo no matter what?
When a boy loves a magical ham-loving fish.
goddess.
Yeah.
And Sosuke's like, I love all the Ponyos, which is fair. And they say, you just got to kiss this little bubble and it'll turn her into a real girl.
Yeah.
Oh, there she's like climbing fish.
Yeah,
Pretty
little
cool.
statue of her climbing the fish.
One little thing we haven't mentioned is the little tiny Ponyos.
Yeah.
They keep helping throughout the movie.
That's right, they
To
do.
sort of like
What do they do?
foible.
What's the noise they make again?
Yeah, wait, how does it go?
Ponyo loves Sosuke!
they're
Right,
wonderful.
I'm looking
helpers.
at the very sparse quotes page, and I forgot that when Lisa says, "What's your mom like?" and she says, "She's big and beautiful, but she can be very scary." Sosuke says, "Just like my mom." Hell yeah!
David's
They-
Bossy.
They relate to
Boss me.
each other. They
Yes.
relate to each other so
No, I know.
well.
That's why I like that the
Yeah.
moms have a combo where they're like, "So our
Yeah.
kids really like each other."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna be like going on some play dates.
Yeah.
Right. And then the last shot of the movie is the little kiss.
Look
Yeah.
at
It's fucking great, and,
And
it's
she
just
like flies through the air.
yeah, it
Tiny little
rules,
kiss.
and that's it. It's like
Yeah.
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 And you're just like, it's the final, like the dopamine is done, right? Like the plunger is down, and then you're just like, great. I love it.
It is. David's nodding off. It is an incredibly pleasant movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet there are people who, like the ones who theorize around Totoro, have also theorized about Ponyo being about the afterlife and all of that, which we don't have to get into. Yeah, there's
Well,
a
I think we
there's a
should get
theory.
into it. I'm kind of
Should we?
curious.
Should we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about anything.
Yeah.
Hit me.
There's a theory about, I might get some of this wrong.
Shirley
Stop
just
hitting each other.
slapped David in the face.
That's it.
It's so violent in here. Yeah, there's a theory that after the storm, actually nobody survived, and actually what we're watching is a bunch of dead characters.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm. Yeah. Because, oh God, I don't remember
I think
the
that's
particulars
silly.
of this. Well, yes.
Okay.
But it's like, the old ladies under, the umbrella bubble under the
Yes.
ocean when they're like, oh, so this is the other side. And they're
Right.
all like healed and then all,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like some people have extrapolated from that and have
Mm-hmm.
said that it's about something else, which I don't think it is about.
See, I feel like there are always any movie that has a scene where someone has like some sort of vaguely near-death experience. People like to theorize that they died and everything after that was their last dying thoughts or was their afterlife.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like in the current South
hallucination.
Creek Bridge or whatever.
Why
Right,
do we
but-
do that?
But I feel like Breaking Bad, they do that with like, oh, he dies in the car, and
Right,
the rest of
right,
the finale never happened. I know people had that Toy Story 3 theory, which 4 pretty much entirely negates that they actually die and incinerate. And there are like 1,000 other examples. And I always feel that it's like, well, near-death experiences are really good for dramatic storytelling.
Sure.
Like, it's nice for someone to have that sort of like final like gauntlet. Whether it's like the thing at the beginning that like pushes them to actually like go for the bigger thing, or the thing at the end that they finally have to overcome. But secondly, like I don't know. Doesn't that make it less interesting if the thing didn't happen?
Right.
I
That's
think it's
why-
just a pleasant.
Also,
I think
theories are for school.
there is interesting.
Okay, leave that shit at school
Wow.
and enjoy some movies and some culture, and don't be like, oh, actually.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Look, they're fun to read about, but it's not my interpretation.
Yeah,
That is all.
yes, that's interesting.
See?
Box office game.
Box office game. This movie came out in America on August 14th, 2009. It was the widest ever Ghibli release. 927 screens.
What did it make? $6 million.
3.5.
Oh, so it
up at
actually
number
multiplied
9.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 1 that weekend, though. Shirley, you ready?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's you just looking at me. You can open your ginger ale.
Well,
It's fine. You were giving me a very
it was
serious
gonna make
look.
a sound.
It's fine.
Do it on mic. If you're gonna do it on mic.
Pop pop.
Number one, I'm guessing, is District 9.
Yes. Opening this
This was
week.
a big
Holy
summer
shit.
for me. I just remember that movie making a big tidal wave, and it was number one for like multiple weeks in August.
Made a big title.
It was one of those summers where there wasn't a big August movie, and then that played at Comic-Con, and it was the one time there was like a Comic-Con bubble where it actually like the press, the response out of Comic-Con translated to actual audience.
Yes.
Because then the next summer, Scott Pilgrim, everyone was losing their minds at Comic-Con, then it comes out and it bombs. But
Yes.
District 9, I remember Entertainment Weekly, writing about the fact where they were like, "This movie's unstoppable." People were tweeting about it out of Comic-Con.
Yeah, and
it,
then
like,
the
worked
cover.
one time.
Yeah, and then the cover was his eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
But they said like they were like the movie.
what a story.
I think you're right. The
Yeah.
only thing I want to remind you of is District 9, obviously, big surprise hit, opened to $37 million. I think its
D9.
final total was
100.
115,
Yeah.
so did very well. The next weekend, Inglourious Bastards came out. So there was another big August movie.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's the only thing I wanted to remind you of.
This is while I'm filming. Of course, as we all remember, this is the summer I'm filming
Gonna
Beware the
that
Gonzo. So
Yeah, the
I remember.
fucking way.
I remember
Hong
being
Kong.
like nervous about like getting hard outs to be able to make it in time to see Inglourious Bastards in District 9.
Right.
I was still at a level where I was like, okay, look, I want to work, but come on, I got movies to see. Don't keep me here on set.
I mean, you're basically at that level now.
No, I'm a harder worker now.
he says, looking so.
I look forlornly. Remember when I had a job?
Excuse me. What was I about
You're
to say?
excused. Okay, so Inglourious Bastards comes out the next week.
Yeah, so we're not talking about that. Number
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Number.
In its second week.
Mm.
It's an action film.
Mm.
Spawned a sequel.
Mm. One?
I think just one.
Okay.
Yeah. Not well received. Didn't do that well, but it did like okay.
This is its first weekend or second week?
second weekend.
And what it opened to, what it ended up at?
It ended up at 150. I think
Oh, weird.
It opened to 54.
This is a movie I like a lot.
Hmm.
Of course I like this.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra.
Ah!
What do you think of G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra?
It's fine.
I think it's really
A Stephen Summers film. Look, I'm
really
all for
silly
doing
and
Summers.
fun.
I'm all for doing Summers.
Yeah.
I think he's underrated.
Next winter, it's Summers.
Like how
On
many
Blank
movies?
Check
I feel like
Pod,
that was great.
next winter is Summers.
I feel let's do it because like
I don't know if we should actually do it, but
why
it's an
not?
interesting career.
Why the fuck shouldn't we do it?
Okay,
God,
what
stop yelling at each other.
Why shouldn't we do it?
did he make Adventures of Tom Sawyer?
Huck Finn.
Huck Finn. Okay. With Elijah Wood
I believe so.
and live action Jungle
9
Book.
movies total. The first one is Matt Dillon. No, sorry, not Matt Dillon. What am I talking about? He just looks like Matt Dillon. A movie called Catch Me If You Can. Some kind of teen movie.
Excuse me, that film's directed by Steven Spielberg.
No, it's
okay,
not.
I give you information.
Then Huck Finn
Okay.
with Elijah Wood.
Live
And
action Jungle Book?
Live action Jungle Book, which is, in my memory, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like back when they were like, if we're going to do a live action Jungle Book, shouldn't it just have animals?
Yeah.
Like we'll just have a tiger?
Right, it's like Roar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
With Jason Scott Lee.
Uh-huh.
Then Deep Rising, which is a fucking masterpiece. Like that's the one where you're just like, when you watch it, you feel like you've found buried treasure.
I still never see it. I remember wanting to see it so badly as a child.
Well, it's so good.
Yeah.
Have you? That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
so good. Have you seen Deep Rising?
That's the one with the autistic
No.
kid recognizes the puzzles in the...
No, that's Mercury.
oh,
Rising.
fuck. What's Deep Rising?
It's about sea crime.
It's about a bunch of fucking.
Hell yeah.
It's about an amazing.
Wait, what movie is this?
It's about an amazing ocean liner launches, right? A big luxury cruise ship. A bunch of sea pirates try to rob it. It's set in modern times.
I don't think I've ever heard of this.
But the problem
Treat
with
Williams
the
and Famke Jensen?
correct and Kevin J. O'Connor, Wes Studi, Jason
Wow.
Fleming, Jaimin Hansu, all kinds of fucking weirdos.
Tagline.
I was gonna get to the
Cliff
tagline.
Curtis, Jason Fleming. Yeah.
Cliff Curtis. But it's like that alone is a fine premise, right? It's like crazy luxury liner, bunch of criminals try to rob it. Like, what's going to happen next? But also there's like a sea serpent on board that's eating people.
I did not know this movie existed, and I just saw the tagline. Ben, do you want to say it?
Full scream ahead.
And the poster's a woman screaming.
Fucking rules. I can't believe you've never seen Deep
Yeah.
Rising. It rules.
Okay, so then he does Mummy Returns.
Mummy, which is one of the better movies ever made. Mummy Returns, which is one of the worst movies ever made. Van Helsing, which
is a nightmare.
Insane. But kind of the blank check.
Yes.
You know, that's where he's like, can I do this? And they're
That's
like,
also
okay.
When Van Helsing came out, it was like, man, this is it. They're never going to get bigger and dumber and more overblown than this.
And now, like, Van Helsing looks like a fucking independent art house film compared to the shit
like
they've
Van
tried.
Helsing looks like a Ken Loach movie. At the time, it was like they're stuffing so much into this thing.
Dracula and a werewolf. What? Then G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra, and then a movie called Odd Thomas that he made for $5, and that's it.
Oh, that's the Anton
Yelchin.
Yelchin. Yeah, wow.
Anyway, we're gonna do them. Winter's gonna be summer someday. I don't know. Number 3.
Yeah.
New this weekend. It's a weepy film with a woman and a man. They have a romance. You cry.
You cry.
Oh, I cry.
Is it the Time Traveler's Wife?
It's the Time Traveler's Wife.
This summer's very vivid for me.
What is? Okay,
Hey.
I'm trying to get better at
Oh,
this.
you've got to fall in love with a time traveler. I don't know. She has like a pizza man
Yeah.
who's always giving her advice. You don't fall in love with that man. He's a time traveler.
So
She keeps on making
You wanna
that
be his
mistake.
wife?
It's a very soft movie.
Rachel McAdams will not stop falling in love with time travel.
Then, number 4 at the box office in its second week. It's a sort of double biopic.
Julie and Julia. Whoa! I remember that.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The movie that inspired Realm.
Right? Really?
Yeah.
The movie, not the blog.
She saw the
had
movie.
She liked the blog. No.
She saw the movie
finds the blog.
and said, so who's this other woman? Or I showed her the trailer.
Right.
And she said, who's that woman? I said, it's Julia Child. She went, yeah, I know who Julia Child is.
yeah. Not asking about Julia.
Right, she's
asking
10.
about Julie.
Right, she's 10 at this point. And she said, who's the other woman? And I went, she wrote a blog. And she went, and then what? And I went, and it got kind of popular. And she went, and then what? I said, then she sold a book. And she went, and then what? And I went, they made this movie about her. Amy Adams plays her.
Romley
And
was
then
like,
like an hour
"That's
later,
me."
Romley was like, I think I might start a blog.
There's I had a classmate in college who watched Julie and Julia once every day for a full year, and he had a blog
Wow.
about watching it.
Hey, look, that's a great blog.
It was excellent. He could remember extras' faces by the end.
That's another very pleasant movie. And I know most people's gripe is that they don't like the Julie half of it. And
That
I think
was
the
the gripe
Julie
at the
half
time.
is fun.
Yeah.
Christmas scene is really good in it.
Yeah.
He's good. It's one of those movies where she's just like, I'm just so fucking annoyed. And you're like, you see, life seems okay. Like, I don't know. Chill out, Julie.
Yeah,
it's
but you-
okay.
But you got double A.
Sure.
She's the best.
She's good. Number 5 is, I think it won the Academy Award for Best Picture this year. One of the canonical best films ever made.
I'm going to take a big swing, and I hope I get this right. The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's number 6.
Wow.
Oh no.
Opening this weekend. And I remember that was like, people were like, the next Anchorman, right? Like, they're
Right,
like that was
right.
really being pitched as like, people are going to go fucking
Isn't it
wild.
Neil Brennan directed it from Chappelle's Show?
I know who Neil Brennan is, but did he direct
I
it?
believe he directed The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard, which I watched on a plane.
And how is it?
It's the okays.
So is it good or what?
You're right, Neil Brennan.
Yeah, wow.
And
it was
didn't write it though.
No. Like, finally, Piven's going to get a movie.
Yeah. Who wanted that?
Everyone. He couldn't stop winning Emmys.
How does Piven deal with like his like hair fluctuation? Like, is it just a thing where like we all know that he has plugged the
it's
shit
like,
out of his hair?
It's like Emperor's New Clothes style.
If you asked him
like-
about it, he'd be like, I've always had this hair.
Yeah.
Definitely
And
not.
you'd be like, here's an episode of Ellen, and he'd
Yeah.
be like, hair looks the same.
Yeah, I shaved my hair for that role.
He has hair blindness.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, right. I think if you asked him that, he would just be like, oh, cool, man. And then like someone would come over and just strangle you. I was signaling to someone silently. No, number 5. No, come on. The Academy Award for Best Picture went to this film.
So you're not making a joke?
No, I'm making a joke about the quality of this film, which is poor.
Because this is the same time of year that Hurt Lockers come out.
It's a fair point, but no, I'm not talking about the
on paper,
Hurt
this
Locker.
movie
Now, this
sounds
movie is
good.
about heroes. I will
on
say
paper,
that.
you write this down and you read it and you go, "That's a pretty good movie."
It's a
Hurt
pretty
Locker
good
is
movie
number
on paper.
21. I have no idea what he's
who's-
talking about. On
who's in
paper,
it?
this movie is probably worse. Who's in it? We've got Sam Rockwell, Zach Galifianakis, Nicolas Cage, Penelope Cruz.
Does this have animals?
Oh.
it the hamster?
Yes, it's called G-Force. It's called G-Force, and I saw it in theaters.
Oh, it was guinea pigs.
I believe.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This is the movie that like ends Jerry Bruckheimer's 15-year run at Disney. They were like, we made your fucking guinea pig movie, now get off the lot.
I remember this being an option for a Kathy picture.
Yes.
Gadgets.
Fighting force. Guinea
Gadgets.
pigs.
G-Force.
Gizmos.
Check.
Guinea pigs.
Good.
In 3D.
That's the tagline? Yeah,
That's the subtagline. The tagline was "The world needs bigger heroes."
Yeah, I saw this in Disney Digital 3D.
What'd you think of that one?
It's not a good film.
So kind of like a G minus.
David just threw his arms up in the air in victory. I remember
That's a good poster. He's throwing the horns.
Yeah, the
The guinea pig
pigs.
is?
Yeah.
Which one? Is it the Sam Rockwell one?
I think Sam Rockwell plays the hero. Penelope Cruz, of course, plays the sexy guinea pig. Nicolas Cage plays like the tech guy, and Tracy Morgan's the
How
wild
can you
card.
tell it's sexy?
Because
He's wearing a bikini?
Oh
no!
Oh, this guinea pig's got baba boom.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, she's got the same shapeless mound body as the other guinea pigs, but they code her as being very attractive to everyone around her. Galifianakis is the human scientist who's tasked with overseeing the guinea pigs. It comes out right after Hangover. So he's like now doing like late night shows because they're trying to sell him. And he went on Conan and they didn't talk about G-Force. He was on for 2 segments, right? He makes it past the commercial break. He comes back on again. At the end of it, Conan said, "So you have this movie out in theaters now?" And he went, "Yeah, it's called G-Force. I play a scientist who's tasked with overseeing a team of guinea pig special agents." You know, I mean, it's based on the off-Broadway play.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that's number 5.
I think Bill Nye plays the villain in it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It made $120 million.
And lost like $90 million. That movie somehow
I think it was
cost
quite expensive.
$200 million.
Oh, those guinea pigs had a high quote.
The story I was going to say was Derek Simon. Will someday be a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Timing never works out. We were walking around the Disney store as a couple cool 19-year-olds do in New York City Friday night.
Friday night?
Oh, it was definitely a Friday night.
Please make it worse.
Yeah. And there was a G-Force t-shirt that was really good.
Right.
And Derek was like, "I kind of want to buy this t-shirt."
Why was it really good?
It was just it was like funny. It said G-Force and it had them all on the bubble. And it was just like, if you removed the association with the movie, it was kind of just a striking image.
Go Force.
We both at the time, too, would buy a lot of children's t-shirts because we were small men.
You are.
And we'd be like, this is funny to have like a shirt designed for a boy, right?
Never gets you through the day.
Whatever. It barely got me through. But he was like looking at the shirt and he was like, "It's $15. And I was like, "For $15, you could buy the shirt. Or we could go see the movie." And I somehow talked him into going to see the movie. And we sat there and 30 minutes in, he was like, "I wish I had bought this shirt." So he walked out. I was like, we could go back and buy the shirt. And he's like, "No, I don't want to have the shirt now. Now I've seen it.
Now I know
don't
what it's
like
worth."
the movie."
Oh boy. Here are some other films in the top 10. We got Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the best film in the series. You have The Ugly Truth, in which there was hearts on the genitals of the little stick figures.
95 domestic.
That's The Ugly Truth. Racy.
Yeah.
So Shirley was in the theater and the trailer played, and and the hearts go down. She's like, "Racy." Funny People.
Yeah, a movie I love.
I love that movie. 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, yeah, it's the only movie of 2009.
Don't love that movie. Yeah. What a talk. What a talk.
What a talk. What a great
Wow.
discussion about Ponyo.
What a
One
great
of my favorite
guest.
movies. And what a great guest. And
Sup,
I'm so
guys?
glad that we got to do this.
One
Shirley.
final thought.
Please.
Shoot.
I think I've said this before to you, Sims. Her coloring, that red, that is the most comforting color.
Yep.
And I
It
love it.
is.
And I want to see more of
I
it.
wonder if it was a conscious like color therapy thing or
Sure. There's, I might butcher her name. Michio Yasuda, I
Okay.
think, is the one who had worked with Miyazaki on the coloring of a lot of his films.
interesting.
Yeah. And she thinks about the color story and the palette of
Yes.
the film a lot. So just tossing it a little bit more here. Yeah.
That's,
yeah.
you make like the color map,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Of red,
And then the
yellow.
Ponyo color map is especially soothing.
Yeah.
And that red is.
It's a very soothing movie in general. I find it very soothing.
Yes.
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 We're all relaxed.
We're all relaxed.
An ASMR podcast.
Next week, the wind
Blackjack.
rises.
The wind will rise next week.
I don't know who our guest will be, if we'll even have a guest. It's October.
It's October.
It's October.
What? Oh, so let's do this because we're recording this right now in June.
Okay.
Let's end the episode with a little on the record. What do we think's going to happen?
What's going to be going on in October?
Of 2019.
I think the movie's going to come out and do so well that will become president.
Wow.
And that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Because that just came out.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's right. He's he's United America.
Do you think Trump is going to start quoting the? It feels
very smart guy. Very smart. Beat the Batman.
A lot of people say that they're good. A lot of people who say he beat the Batman.
A lot of people, he comes in. There's the Chechen. I can't do Trump. I wish I could do Trump.
These are scary guys. They're scary guys, but they're all scared of the Joker.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I find it a blessing that I
pencil.
don't do a good Trump impression. I'm glad I can't go into that.
Right. On the record, I think I know what David Sims' next tattoo is.
Oh!
It's Forky.
That's right.
People are gonna really enjoy this because they'll be like, who? What? It'll be one of those collective freakouts that we all had.
So what finger does the ring go on for Forky? Because he's got a little demented.
Oh, I think you put it on the middle, right?
The middle
He's
one?
got 3 little.
Or do you put it on the spork ends?
I think it's fall off that way with his wobbling.
That's true.
Because the sporks, the little prongs are very short.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Please come back whenever you're in the city again or in the tri-state area.
Hell yeah.
Because it's always nice when someone lets the dog off the leash, lets him run around a bit.
Thank you for having me back.
Arf.
I swear last time I blacked out. Yeah.
Oh,
last time we were really cranked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening.
Last time was
I
all
don't know,
Rickman.
Yeah, right. Going somewhere.
It's all coming
Mr.
back.
Ponyo.
Oh, and last time I
Eating
forgot.
ham, Mr.
Yeah.
Ponyo.
Last time I forgot to shout out my friend JJ. So hi JJ.
Oh, shout out to JJ.
Yeah,
There we
he's a
go.
committed blanket. We love you.
Yeah.
He has a baby now.
I know.
Cute baby.
Cute baby.
Have you seen? No, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Show your
That's a
baby
baby.
Ponyo.
Yeah.
Heed these words.
Yeah, and I guess congratulations to David on the.
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say on the pending approval of your adoption of Ponyo
Okay, fair enough.
and your little family you have with Forky because you love Forky. I think. See, I know at this point Toy Story 4 is old news. I think Forky's about to have a massive summer. I think Forky's gonna have a mini me summer. Remember Mini Me Fever?
Yeah, I do.
It's
briefly.
gonna strike again.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be
Forky,
right
Forky.
there, right next to the eye of the hurricane.
All right.
Okay, thank you all for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe. Thanks to Ange for good for our social media. David has removed his headphones. Liam Montgomery for our theme song. Joe Bone, Pat Rounds for our artwork. Go to blankies.rad.com for some real nerdy shit. And TeePublic for some real nerdy shirts. Next week, Wind Rises. And as always, Ponyo loves ham.
And just found another
Ben!
GIF.
He's looking at more Ponyo. His face is
It's a great-
red with joy.
Scarlet with joy.
That feel when you need to have lunch.
Are you gonna tweet that?
Yeah.
You just dictated it.